One Piece Justice, Chapter 501-520. Chapter 500 and First Kill. I saw that this man with admiral strength was directly attacked when he was suppressed by gravity and the power of freezing, and Zoro's sword energy also directly slashed at him. At the same time, Hancock also shot at the same time, a petrified arrow. Go directly to this person. Psi and Amp, Kai and Amp, Psi. In the face of this sudden attack, this admiral man didn't have time to react. Coupled with the strong freezing force and the suppression of gravity, he didn't have time to move at all. He could only defend Armament Hockey's whole body, and then the attack came. Boom! Zoro's sword chi slashed directly to his back heart, and then he saw Hancock's petrified arrow hit him directly. Although he had Armament Hockey's defense, his chest was also petrified, and he was directly hit hard. Damn! What the hell are you doing? The knife-wielding Gorosei 5 elders turned extremely grim, and then questioned Tianyu and the others. The rest of the people hurriedly came to the Gorosei 5 elders, sighed and watched Tianyu and them warily. Can't you see this? We are united by the revolutionary army to overthrow the world government. Tianyu said, looking at Gorosei 5 elders. What? You? Gorosei 5 elders looked extremely ugly. Has Marine already betrayed the world government? No, just you betrayed. 1 Marine Marshal plus 3 Marine Admirals. The Revolutionary Army is really capable. Ah. It's not that the Revolutionary Army is capable, it's just that the behavior of the world government has disappointed us so much, that's why we want to overthrow the world government. Fujitora said. If that's the case, then you'll all die for me. Looks like Marine needs a big cleanup. Gorosei 5 elders said grimly. This matter, let's wait until you can survive. Also, do you think you can get out of here alive? Under the attack of so many of us. Tianyu looked at the knife-wielding Gorosei 5 elders with disdain. The knife-wielding Gorosei 5 elders also looked ugly, and he also knew that it was very difficult to leave here, and everyone had locked them. Then the battle will begin. Tianyu had just finished speaking, but Hakai Mahak couldn't bear it any longer, jumped up, and slashed towards the Gorosei 5 elders with his own black sword, Yi Dao Lunite. I saw a huge sword energy slashing towards the Gorosei 5 elders with the sword. Do it, Tianyu said after seeing Mahak's actions, and then he saw Shiryu of Rain, Zoro, Sakumo, Fujitora. These swordsmen all rushed towards the Gorosei 5 elders with their swords, and cut off their hands one after another. Knife in. Damn! The sword-wielding Gorosei 5 elders saw so many swordsmen attacking him, and their faces were extremely ugly. The swordsman's attacks were all very powerful, even if he was stronger than everyone present, but his face attacking so many people is also a bit stretched. Seeing that so many people were attacking the Gorosei 5 elders with the sword, Tianyu did not continue to charge, but confronted the strong admiral who was already half crippled, while Hancock stared at the Gorosei 5 with the sword. Elders, in case he escapes, the other captains of the 9 snakes are confronted by those brought by the knife-wielding Gorosei 5 elders. Armed wooden fist, Tianyu came to the opponent in an instant, and punched him. Boom! In the face of Tianyu's attack, the opponent also punched out directly. However, he was seriously injured, but he was not Tianyu's opponent at all. He flew upside down and spit out a large mouthful of blood. Cough. It's still powerful. Agent number 1 laughed miserably. His injuries were already serious, and he could have been stalemate for some time, but now he is no longer an opponent. You are no match for me now. Tianyu looked at him. I have been trained by the world government since I was a child, so even if I die, I will not back down. Rankyaku Tempest Kick Chaos. Agent number 1 directly kicked Tianyu several times with Rankyaku Tempest Kick. He is a strong fighting technique, so although the chest is petrified, it still has the power of a blow. Too weak. Now you can't make any big moves at all, otherwise, the petrification in your chest will shatter, and you will be dead. Tianyu directly blocked the opponent's Rankyaku Tempest with a wooden wall. Kick attack. Thorns kill. A large number of thorns came directly from Tianyu, hands and stabbed towards the opponent. Even so, I will not give up. Agent number 1, as a combat force cultivated by the world government, is very determined. Renkyaku Tempest Kick Blast. One after another Renkyaku Tempest Kick smashed Tianyu of Thorns. If that's the case, then go to hell. Be loyal to your world government in hell. Wooden Dragon. Tianyu used his ultimate move directly, without intending to delay time. A huge wooden dragon burst out of the ground, heading towards the opponent attacked in the past. Agent number 1's complexion changed suddenly. Faced with such an attack, he was also very difficult to handle. Usually, it was fine, but now it is a big problem. Shaving is fast. Under Tianyu's control, the wooden dragon followed the other side. The wooden dragon bites. The wooden dragon bit the opponent directly. Damn. Renkyaku Tempest Kick Cutting Line. A sharp slash slashed towards the wooden dragon. Kacha. A large crack was cut out of the head of the wooden dragon. Roar. The wooden dragon flicks its tail. The angry wooden dragon slapped the opponent with its tail. Agent number 1, who didn't have time to react, was also beaten. Armed iron. The agent had to use his strongest defense to resist this attack. Boom. Kacha. The agent's face suddenly changed and turned pale, but there was a crack in the place where his chest was petrified, and his chest almost exploded, and he also had lingering fears. After Nilong hit the agent, he didn't stop, and continued to wrap around her. The agent's expression changed greatly, and then he stepped on the shaving and tried to escape. However, at this time, Tianyu appeared in front of. You're showing your flaws. Tianyu's voice appeared in his ears, his face changed drastically, and before he could react, Tianyu's attack hit him in the chest, and a wooden spear pierced his chest directly. The originally petrified chest also shattered directly. Damn it. The agent looked down at his chest with an ugly face. He wanted to say something, but he couldn't say anything. He just fell to the ground with endless regret and died. In your next life, don't be a lackey of the world government. Tianyu glanced down at him, then turned his attention to the people who were fighting the Gorosei, 5 elders. Chapter 502 Surrounding Gorosei, 5 elders. When several swordsmen were fighting against the sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders, the battle at Upside Down Mountain also started in an instant. All equal, all equal. Luffy and his partner were against the second agent with Admiral's strength. A group of people dealt with him alone, and the two sides were evenly matched. The others were made of Kikyo, Margaret and the Revolutionary Army. Officers deal with. And the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders are dealt with by Kuina, Sonia, Groud, Kyubi, Ninetails Fox, Sabo, Bear, and Ivankov as a doctor, ready to respond at any time, and the battle started in an instant. A sharp slash. Kuina slashed towards the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders with an extremely sharp sword. 80 million volt Thunder Dragon. A huge Thunder Long Yi attacked the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders. Corrosive Breath. Groot transformed into a giant Yagi Orochi, and then sprayed the scarred Gorosei, 5 elders with corrosive liquid one after another. Kyubi, Ninetails Foxfire. The Kyubi, Ninetails Fox was also a huge foxfire flying towards the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders. Diamond Dragon Claw. Sabo is his powerful Dragon Claw. Pressure Cannon. The bear also compressed air, and then formed a huge pressure cannon and shot it out. In the face of the attack of 6 Admiral-level powerhouses, even the strength of the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders was extremely cautious. Without the slightest hesitation, a green turtle shell appeared in front of him, and then many attacks were also direct hits in the tortoise shell. I only heard a click, and the turtle shell shattered directly, but it also defended against everyone's attacks, and did not hurt the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders in the slightest. It's useless, your attacks can't break my defense at all. Scar Gorosei, 5 elders believe in themselves, apparently very confident in their defenses. What power is this? Turtle shell. Zone turtle power, Sabo said, looking at the defense that appeared in front of Scar's Gorosei, 5 elders. No, the zone turtle ability is the ability of a person in the Big Mom Pirates. Besides, as Gorosei, 5 elders, he can't eat such a low-end fruit. Sonia denied directly. What kind of power is that? Sabo said. Whatever his ability is, with so many of us, 6 admiral-level characters, can't we still beat him? Shang said. That's right, let's go together. Everyone also attacked the past again, and they attacked the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders one after another, and the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders also became serious. Facing so many admiral powerhouses, even the defense capability is also somewhat dangerous. On the other side, everyone's sword chi was slashed towards Gorosei, 5 elders, a sword and a knight. A sharp green sword chi cut out from Hawkeye's hand and slashed towards the Gorosei, 5 elders who held the sword. At the same time, Hawkeye has no objection to other people's shots, and he also knows the attraction of swordsmen with Gorosei, 5 elders. Slashing the wind with one sword. Sakumo also cut out his own sword energy at the same time as Hawkeye, and a sword energy cut through the wind and headed towards the Gorosei, 5 elders with the sword. Ghost Chi slash. Shiryu of the Rain didn't hesitate at all, a slash full of murderous and ghost aura, heading towards the Gorosei, 5 elders with the sword. Gravity Knife Tiger. Fujitora is also not to be outdone. Although he has eaten devil fruit, he is also a swordsman, and his swordsmanship is not weak. 3-sword style Ashura slash. Zoro was also not to be outdone. After a slash with Ashura's power, he headed towards the sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders. After a period of battle, Zoro also broke through and became a real great swordsman, so he is not weak now. One-shot Ghost slash. Gorosei, 5 elders with the knife drew his own knife in a split second. This knife didn't have much ornate decoration, but when the knife was drawn, the endless chill in the stern ghost chi also showed its disapproval, and a slash carrying endless ghost energy directly slashed towards their attack. The slashes of Gorosei, 5 elders with the swords directly smashed Zoro, Shiryu of Rain, Fujitora and their slashes, and then collided with the slashes of Hawkeye and Sakumo, stalemate for a while, and then shattered. Eagle Eye and Sakumo's slashes continued towards the katana Gorosei, 5 elders, who shattered their attack with a direct swipe of the katana. What a powerful kendo cultivation base! Sakumo exclaimed after seeing the slash of Gorosei, 5 elders with the knife, and had to admit that the opponent was indeed stronger than his kendo cultivation base. This is the first generation of ghosts, Hawkeye said after looking at the sword with the sword Gorosei, 5 elders, and at the same time a little unsure, because this sword has disappeared for many years, but this sword with such a powerful evil spirit there is only the legendary first generation ghost. That's right, this knife is the first generation of Onito. Gorosei, 5 elders with the knife directly admitted after hearing Hawkeye's words. Okay, Hawkeye's fighting spirit also rose up, so did Sakumo, and so did the others. Although there was a huge gap in strength, they would not miss this good opportunity. Let me defeat you here one by one. One-shot ghosts, one after another sword chi, surrounded by roaring ghosts, then slashed towards the crowd. Don't underestimate people too much. A sword that flows into the extreme night. Hawkeye also said after hearing the words of the sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders, and a sword energy also slashed past. The other people also slashed with sword energy one after another, and then fought with the sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders. Hancock did not join the battle. After all, so many people are enough, the sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders even strong, it is impossible to be an opponent of so many people. At this time, Tianyu had already solved his opponent, and then he also came to Hancock's side, watching their battle together. Watching this scene of swordsmanship, Kuzan has also solved his opponent, and now holds the knife Gorosei. The people brought by the 5 elders have all died, and Kuzan also came to Tianyu to watch their battle. The battle situation of the 6 top swordsmen and the 6 great swordsmen. What will be the situation? Now I know, the sword energy is scattered everywhere, and the people around are constantly retreating. If you are touched by such sword energy, then it was also either dead or disabled. Only Hancock, Tianyu, and Kuzan were watching from a close distance. Such sword energy was not worth mentioning to the 3 of them. The original intact G5 base has been shattered under the battle of 6 people, but now no one cares about the building here, and the battle scene is extremely fierce. Although the knife-wielding Gorosei 5 elders are extremely powerful, they face 5 as a great swordsman. Even the Gorosei 5 elders are at a disadvantage, and the swordsmen are a group of people with very strong lethality, so now basically they have suffered some injuries. Even the Gorosei 5 elders are the same. Chapter 503 Siege of Gorosei 5 Elders 2. After the battle, Gorosei 5 elders with the knife also looked very ugly. Although his strength was very strong, the opponent was not weak, and through the corner of the eye, the people he brought with him were all dead, which means that only he is alone. How can he not look ugly? Plus reversed tilde bug plus. And you must know that only 5 people shot, and Kuzan and the more powerful Hancock and Tianyu did not shoot. If the 3 of them also shot at the same time, I am afraid that even he would not have any unexpected results, only a dead end. The knife-wielding Gorosei 5 elders look extremely ugly now. You must know that as the world government Gorosei 5 elders for so many years, he has tasted the status of supreme power. He is very afraid of death, so if it is possible, he is absolutely those who are unwilling to fight to the death here do not have the courage to fight to the death. But in this situation, there is nothing he can do. The other party is watching him closely, so that he has no chance of escaping from here, and Tianyu, Hancock, and Kuzan are also staring at him with all their strength, so that he has no chance to let the rest the 3 Gorosei 5 elders come to support. While thinking with the sword Gorosei 5 elders, Hawkeye and Tsukumo didn't stop. How dare you get distracted? We won't let go. Hawkeye and Tsukumo didn't give up this good opportunity, and they slashed at each other. Gorosei 5 elders slashed over. Damn it. Gorosei 5 elders with the knife hurriedly slashed out with a sword energy, and then stepped back. Years of comfortable life also made his fighting consciousness drop a lot. After the Gorosei 5 elders with the knife slashed out, another sword chi slashed out, shattering Hawkeye's attack, and then one after another tyrannical sword chi slashed towards them. Hawkeye and the others also used their own means, either to smash the opponent's sword energy, or to block it directly, or to open it. Although the Gorosei 5 elders with the sword are powerful, it is impossible to defeat them if they want a sword energy. When Hawkeye and the others were resisting, the sword-wielding Gorosei 5 elders directly seized the opportunity and immediately came to Shiryu of the Rain, and then slashed it down, but they planned to take the opportunity to deal with a weaker person first. 5 people. Shiryu of the Middle Rain and Zoro are the weakest, and the sword-wielding Gorosei 5 elders chose the Shiryu of the Rain closest to him. Facing the attack of the Gorosei 5 elders with the sword, Shiryu of Rain had no fear at all, just endless bloodthirsty. Good job. Shiryu of Rain slashed over. Ping. The 2 sides collided, and then Shiryu of the Rain also took a few steps back, while the sword-wielding Gorosei 5 elders slashed over. Ping. The sword-wielding Gorosei 5 elders cut Shiryu's sword directly, and then cut a wound directly on his chest. Just when the Gorosei 5 elders with the knife were about to attack again, Hawkeye's attack also came. The Gorosei 5 elders with the knife were helpless and could only turn around to resist their attack. If he continued to attack, he would not be able to kill Shiryu and could only seriously injure him, but he would also suffer a lot of injuries, so the Gorosei 5 elders with the knife would not be able to kill Shiryu. He kicked Shiryu directly, then turned around and cut out a sword energy, blocking Hawkeye's attack. Shiryu, who was kicked away, rushed over again. Evil rain slash. One after another, the sword energy like rain slashed towards Gorosei 5 elders. Humph! The Gorosei 5 elders with the knife snorted coldly, and then directly blocked Shiryu's attack, and when they were about to attack again, Hawkeye and the others also attacked, and the Gorosei 5 elders with the knife directly slashed out a knife Dayuan, then took a step back. It would be unwise to fight so many people in close quarters. One-shot slash. After the Gorosei 5 elders with the sword stepped back, they once again slashed towards them with incomparably huge sword chi. Hawkeye and the others also waved their swords directly, the sword energy was cut out, and then they attacked the past. The two sides again soared energy and then attacked each other. The G5 base was also riddled with holes, and a large number of buildings were shattered, showing the aftermath of their battle. Great power. The battle continued, and the injuries on both sides continued to increase. No one of Gorosei, 5 elders, Hawkeye, Sakumo, Fujitora, Shiryu, Zoro had an accident, but the injuries on Gorosei, 5 elders were more. After all, the other party has 5 people. During the battle, time passed quickly. Boom. Boom. The voices continued to come out. The G5 base had been completely destroyed, and not a single building was still standing there. It has been 2 hours since the battle. Now, although it's not long, the sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders has been gasping for breath. There are reasons for the high intensity of the battle, and there are reasons for him to be old. In short, his condition is not very good. Old ghost, what's the matter? Are you out of strength? If that's the case, then I will accept your sword. Thousand Rains slash. Shiryu slashed at Gorosei, 5 elders with 1 slash, and Shiryu of Rain suffered the most injuries, because Shiryu is the worst. Don't be ashamed, the knife-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders said angrily. Originally, an opponent like Shiryu would not be in his eyes at all, but now he is mocking him. How can he not be angry? Angry Gorosei, 5 elders slashed down hard. Boom. The angry Gorosei, 5 elders directly repulsed Shiryu, and at the same time, they also dealt a heavy blow to Shiryu. Shiryu spit out a large mouthful of blood, and the knife in his hand was almost unsteady. At this time, Hawkeye and the others also a knife slashed at the Gorosei, 5 elders. Damn, you guys. The fury of the Gorosei, 5 elders with the knife. Every time they got a chance to kill Shiryu, they attacked him, annoying him. Ping. All 4 attacked towards the Gorosei, 5 elders with the sword. Even though the Gorosei, 5 elders with the sword had resisted such force, they were still hit by the force and spit out a mouthful. The blood came out, and the wounds on the body also cracked open again. I can't go on like this. In this case, I will really die here. Gorosei, 5 elders with the knife thought to himself, and he was also looking for a way to retreat, but to his despair, he had no choice at all. And he also found that the 3 consciousnesses have been locking him, and he also knows that this is the eyes of Hancock, Tianyu and Kuzan. They will shoot at any time, as long as they run away, so he also dare not run away like this. I hope they can quickly find out the anomaly, come and support. The sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders could only think like this, pinning their hopes on the other 3 Gorosei, 5 elders. Hawkeye, Sakumo, Fujitora, and Zoro ignored what the sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders were thinking. They rushed over again, and then fought with the sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders, who were more powerful than the sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders. They are all powerful, and their kendo cultivation is stronger than them, and they can learn a lot in battle. Chapter 504. The Siege of Gorosei, 5 Elders 3. The 5 of them have also learned a lot from the sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders since the battle, and their kendo cultivation has also improved a lot. I believe that as long as this battle is over, their strength will definitely improve. The sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders also felt the improvement of Hawkeye's kendo cultivation. Although their strength did not improve directly, the sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders also cursed inwardly. Damn, do you take me as a teacher? The knife Gorosei, 5 elders looked ugly, but there was nothing he could do. The battle is still going on. The island that originally carried the G5 base also began to shatter under the sharp sword energy. I believe that after this battle, the island will also be gone. Boom, boom. The sound of fighting continued, and the sword energy was also scattered around, and blood was also flying. Ping. After the blow, everyone dispersed, and the Gorosei, 5 elders with the knife also used it directly. The knife stood there. He was too tired and had no strength. His chest was also cut with a huge wound. This was caused by Hawkeye. Of course, Hawkeye was also in bad condition and was almost stabbed by him. 2 sections, a huge wound, also passed directly from the waist. Although he suffered such an injury, Hawkeye was still supporting and did not fall down. Other people were also in bad condition. Other people also suffered large and small injuries. Only Fujitora was better. After all, he is a devil fruit ability. It's time to decide, Tianyu said, looking at the situation in front of him. That's right, although the strength of Gorosei, 5 elders is very strong, but the 5 great swordsmen as opponents are really not opponents. If it is one-on-one, I am afraid that only the 2 of you are his opponents. In our case, I'm afraid he will be killed after a long time. Kuzan said solemnly, and he also finally realized the strength of Gorosei, 5 elders. Everything goes well, then there are only 3 Gorosei, 5 elders left, and if we go together, then we can take care of them. Tianyu said. When Tianyu and the others were talking, the battle had also entered its final stage. Hakai and the 5 of them rushed directly towards the Gorosei, 5 elders with the sword. Chopped off. Ping. Now that the battle has reached, no one has cut out the sword energy, but directly faced each other with the swords. The swords collided, and then kept attacking the other side. The injuries on both sides are getting more and more, but this time, it is the sword. Gorosei, 5 elders fell directly into the disadvantage. After all, he was old and his physical strength was exhausted. Tear. The knife-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders was stabbed again in the chest, then took a few steps back and covered his chest. The knife-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders, eyes also became a little confused, his eyes dazed, then just the last knife. Said here, the eyes of the knife-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders sharpened again, and the whole person was also refreshed again, but the light returned. After seeing the state of the sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders, Hakai and the others also knew that this was the opponent's last move, and it was also the most powerful move, so they were also prepared to stand up. If one was bad, they would die. One-shot ghosts and gods. The Gorosei, 5 elders with the knife directly exhausted their energy, and then issued their own powerful knife, a sword-like energy like a ghost, and slashed towards Hakai and the others. The endless night of the black knife. Hakai also exerted his strength, and then cut out his own knife, a small but powerful sword chi flying towards Gorosei, 5 elders, slashing blow. One blade is reincarnated. Sakumo also cut out his own blade, and a powerful sword energy went towards the opponent. Gravity Knife Abyss. Fujitora also swung out a knife, crushing the Gorosei, 5 elders with overwhelming gravity. 3 Swords Profound Truth Qinglong Yin. Zoro also directly cut out his own profound meaning, and a blue dragon slashed towards Gorosei, 5 elders. 1 slash with evil intent. Shiryu of the Rain also came over, recovered a bit, and then cut out his own sword. Boom, boom. There were 5 collision sounds, but the attacks from both sides collided. Although Gorosei, 5 elders had the strongest attack, they were directly chopped up after defeating the 3 attacks. And then the remaining 2 attacks, slashed towards the knife-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders. The sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders saw this and did not dodge, or he had no strength to dodge. The attack just now exhausted his strength, so now he just watched the sword chi slash towards him. Boom, boom. The 2 sword energies directly slashed the sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders, and the sword-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders were not surprised at all, and were directly cut off by the 2 sword energies. Is this the fear of death? I didn't expect that I would die too. I really didn't expect it. Gorosei, 5 elders with a knife sighed after looking at his severed body, and then the endless darkness just overwhelmed him, and one of the Gorosei, 5 elders died. Finally resolved, Tianyu said, looking at the dead Gorosei, 5 elders. Ah, I hope it's the same in the world. Kuzan said. Yes, and there is still dragon sitting there, there is no problem. Tianyu said to himself. Huh, it's finally solved. Hakai sat directly on the ground. The strength of Gorosei, 5 elders also made him exhausted, and the others were the same, all of them were physically exhausted. This first generation ghost, who do you want? After the Gorosei, 5 elders with the sword were buried here, Tianyu also took the sword of the Gorosei, 5 elders with the sword and said to them. I don't need it, it's enough for me to have a black knife knight. Hakai Mahak said, looking at his black knife. I don't need it either. Sakumo also refused directly. His Reikiri is also the same level as the first generation Onishi, so he doesn't need it. My main power is Devil Fruit, so I can't use such a good knife. Fujitora also refused. Give it to me. My kendo is very suitable for this knife, and it happens that my third generation Gito is a little weak. As a great swordsman, I can't live without a better knife. Zoro said directly without giving in. Che, I want it too. My second generation Ghost Toss You. Shiryu of the Rain also said, but he didn't want the knife in the end, but gave it to Zoro. It's really a good knife. Is this one of the 12 masters of the Supreme Great Sword? It is indeed the sharpest knife in the world, Zoro said after taking the first generation Onishi, and then he drew the knife. The knife it also exudes an evil intent, humph. Zoro snorted coldly, the sword intent erupted, and then directly suppressed the evil spirit of the first generation Gush. Chapter 505, The Siege of Gorosei, 5 Elders 4. Humph. The evil spirit of a mere knife still wants to control me, it's just a dream, give me control. Zoro directly suppressed the first generation ghost, and then completely controlled the knife. Miscellaneous. You really have a good disciple. Hawkeye looked at this scene and said to Tsukumo. I'm also very satisfied with being able to train 2 great swordsmen's disciples. Tsukumo also laughed, obviously very satisfied with Kuina and Zoro. How about it, do you want to recruit a disciple too? Tsukumo asked. If there is a good seedling, I will also accept a disciple. Hawkeye also changed his mind that he did not intend to accept a disciple. Ha 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 ha, you've changed too. Tsukumo laughed. After this battle, I believe our strength can also be improved. Let's try again at that time. I can't ask for it. Hawkeye said. Chi, I was not controlled by the evil spirit of the sword, so I was disappointed. Shiryu made a disappointed expression. That really disappoints you, Zoro laughed. Upside down the mountain, Sabo and the others are also constantly attacking the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders. After a long attack, they also saw the Devil Fruit ability of the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders. I didn't expect you to be the Devil Fruit Zone, mythical, basalt form, the legendary Devil Fruit with the most powerful defense. Sabo also looked at the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders solemnly. I was seen by you. Scar Gorosei, 5 elders did not deny it when they saw this. After all, there is nothing to hide. With my defensive ability, I will drag you here and wait until Marine's support arrives. Righteous. Scar Gorosei, 5 elders confessed. Humph. We've already sent someone to hold off Marine's support. Sabo sneered, and said indiscriminately, deceiving the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders. It turns out that, no wonder Marine hasn't come yet. But don't worry, although my attack power is not high, but with my defense ability, they want to break my defense, it's still early. Scar Gorosei, the 5 elders are also self-confident, and at the same time, he also believed the situation of Marine that Sabo said, but he did not know that Marine was not dispatched at all. In the dark, Dragon was sitting here, and he also saw the ability of the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders. It turned out to be this Devil Fruit. It seems that I can't let you go, but I don't know what the remaining 3 Gorosei, 5 elders are. What ability? Dragon guessed. While Dragon was thinking, the battle started again, but Sonia and the others ignored the defense of Scar Gorosei, 5 elders and launched their own powerful attack. They didn't believe that one person could defend against so many of them. The Shield of Xuanwu. A huge Xuanwu directly enveloped the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders, and then resisted the attack of everyone. Although Xuanwu's defense was super powerful, in the face of so many Admiral-level masters, even the Scar Gorosei, 5 the defense of the elders is also somewhat difficult, and the defense is also shaken directly. Scar Gorosei, 5 elders sees this and also increases the defense. Because of his weak attack power, Scar Gorosei, 5 elders did not take the opportunity to attack, but kept defending, because in terms of attack power, his attack power is only Admiral's level, similar to Sabo and the others, so Scar the Gorosei, 5 elders also did not attack. Among the Gorosei, 5 elders, he specialized in defense, and others were the main force of the attack. On the other side, Luffy and the others are facing against Agent 2. Although Agent 2 has Admiral-level strength, after being tempered by Doflamingo, Big Mom, and the New World, their strength has also improved. Many, especially Luffy, have also reached the Quasi-Admiral level. Although they have just entered the Quasi-Admiral level, with Luffy's third and fourth gears, they can instantly become people with real Admiral strength, so they and the world government agents, the battles between them are also comparable, and they even have the upper hand. Damn! Flesh-enhancing punch. The agents of the world government punched Luffy and the others. Although they were powerful, they were blocked by Luffy. He was someone who ate the Paramecia-enhanced fruit and could strengthen his body. Strength, but in the face of Luffy, the ability advantage is not very obvious. Rubber rocket launcher. A razor-sharp tiger. Devil wind scammers. As the main force, Luffy, Sokka, and Sanji mainly deal with the agents, while Nami and the others provide support and assistance. This also makes it extremely difficult for the agents to fight. Although he is strong, the opponent is not weak. Boom! The attack of the two sides collided, and then they were evenly matched, which also made the agent feel aggrieved. The body strengthens the leg shave. The agent directly strengthened the strength of his legs, and then the speed increased greatly, and he came to Luffy in an instant. Armed Shigan finger pistol. Shigan finger pistol pointed at Luffy's chest with lightning speed. Although the opponent's speed suddenly increased so much, Luffy was not easy to mess with. Luffy, who reacted instantly, also directly defended his body with armament haki, and then his body shook and punched the agent at the same time. Boom! After the agent hit Luffy, he was also hit by Luffy's punch and immediately retreated. Although Luffy avoided the chest injury and also defended by armament haki, the agent's attack was still in Luffy. There was a small hole in his chest, and at the same time he was hit by Luffy's punch, and his internal organs were shaking faintly. At this time, the attacks of Sokka, Sanji, and others also arrived, and the world government agents also ignored their injuries and avoided the past, and then came to Usopp in an instant, with a Shigan finger pistol, but Usopp was the weakest and a sniper, so he was called his first target. Ah! Help! Although Usopp launched an attack directly, he couldn't help shouting. Usopp! Luffy shouted, second gear steam pistol. Luffy used second gear directly, then instantly came to the back of the agent and punched him. In the face of Luffy's attack, the agent directly hit Usopp with one finger, then slashed again, dodging the past. Luffy's attack was also in vain. Usopp, are you okay? Luffy asked. It's okay. Usopp covered his wound, but there was no danger. You stay away, his strength is too strong for you. Luffy said to Nami and the others. Nami and the others did not refute, they went directly to the distance, and then launched a long-range attack. Luffy and the other three main forces its close combat. Chapter 506. The Siege of Gorosei, 5 Elders 5. Second gear rubber gun. Luffy charged directly at the agent, punching countless fists in his hand, and punched the agent. All equal. Flesh-enhanced legs. The agent directly avoided the past, and then Sokka and Sanji's attacks were already ready, coming towards him. Leg-enhancing Renkyaku Tempest Kick Chaos. The agent calmly kicked out countless powerful slashes attacked the two people. At this time, Luffy also rushed over, third speed rubber light gun. Luffy's huge arm, like a giant, hit the agent directly. The agent, who was dealing with other people's attacks, facing Luffy's attack, was about to respond. Sokka and Sanji tightly delayed him, so that he could not make defenses. The agent had no choice but to be able to respond. Defend with armament haki. Boom! When Luffy's fist came, Sokka and Sanji stepped back directly, and then the agent was directly exposed to Luffy's huge fist, and was directly knocked into the air, and then hit the mountain in the distance. On the wall. Cough. In the face of Luffy's powerful attack, the agent also spit out a large mouthful of blood, and then fell to the ground directly, supporting his body, physical strengthening and repair. The agent directly used the ability to repair the body's injury. I can't let you recover so quickly, a savage tiger. Sokka came to the agent in an instant, and then slashed down. Devil's Foot Skull. Sanji didn't fall behind, he instantly appeared on top of the agent's head, and then kicked the agent's head. Damn it! Iron blocks. The agent saw this and gave up continuing to repair his body, and then used the iron blocks as defense. Ping! The attack of the two people hit the agent, and the sound of gold and iron clashed directly. At this time, Luffy also recovered, and then appeared in front of the agent, armed rubber guns. A lot of fists called the agent. Physical enhancement of Shigan, finger pistol, shadow. The agent was also not to be outdone, and a large number of finger shadows pointed at Luffy. The two people's attacks collided and the fist collided with Shigan, finger pistol. However, after a long time, the agent couldn't hold it anymore. Luffy's fist broke the agent's Shigan, finger pistol, and then hit the agent. Ah! The agent screamed directly, and he was directly hit by Luffy's fist. Cough! The agent spit out a mouthful of blood, and his internal organs were severely injured, but Luffy didn't miss this good opportunity. 4th level Elastic Man. Luffy directly used his most powerful move, covering his entire body with armament haki, and then jumped up and attacked the agent. Damn! Physical enhancement Renkyaku, Tempest Kick Chaos. The angry agent also directly slashed a lot of slashes and attacked Luffy. Armament haki was also wrapped around the slashes, and the power was very powerful. Rubber Jet Pistol. Faced with such an attack, Luffy directly punched out, sending out a large number of air bombs, attacking the agent's slash. Boom! Boom! The two sides attacked and collided, and then a huge roar sounded. The attacks of the two people collided continuously, and then cancelled each other out without attacking anyone. Physical strengthening shaving. The agent stepped directly on the shaving and came to Luffy, then, physical strengthening Renkyaku, Tempest Kick. A slash kicked Luffy. Rubber Orochi Punch. Luffy punched directly with both fists, his arms bent, bypassing the agent's attack, and then hitting the agent. As for the agent's attack, Luffy directly defended armament haki, and then resisted. Boom! Luffy's attack hit the agent, and the agent's Renkyaku, Tempest Kick slash also hit Luffy. Although Luffy's chest defended armament haki, he was still slashed, and a huge chest appeared, constantly bleeding. The situation of the agent is also not good. In the face of Luffy's two powerful punches, even though he has used the armament haki defense, in the face of such force, a lot of ribs were directly broken, and the agent also took a few steps back. Rubber Lion Bazooka. Luffy ignored his injury, he also knew that now was the best chance, and his 4th gear had a time limit, so he couldn't waste time. Luffy shrunk his fists into his body, and then came in front of the agent, he slammed it out. Damn! Don't underestimate people, the agent said angrily, shaving his feet, dodging Luffy's attack, and then coming to Luffy's side, Renkyaku, Tempest Kick cut. A huge Renkyaku, Tempest Kick slashed directly towards Luffy's outstretched arm. Luffy's outstretched arm has no way to avoid this attack, but armament haki is already wrapped around Luffy's arm, so he still defends the agent's attack. Although he is also injured, at least he has no arm. Fracture. After the agent hit, he did not stay in place, but kept moving. He also found a weakness of Luffy, that is speed, so he also kept changing the location so that Luffy couldn't attack him, although he kept moving. Using shaving can cause damage to the feet, but for him, a fruit-enhancing person, it is not a problem to shave continuously for several hours. Damn! Looking at the constantly dodging agents, Luffy was also a little anxious after he missed another shot. You must know that his 4th gear has a time limit. If he continues like this, then when the time comes, he is not the opponent. After seeing Luffy's predicament, Sokka and Sanji also rushed over to help. At the same time, Nami and the others also attacked each other from a distance, intending to limit the opponent's speed. However, all their attacks were evaded by the agents. One hit him. Damn it! Thundercloud weather. Nami saw this situation and used the weather control stick, and a cloud of thunderclouds was also formed by Nami. When Dragon in the Dark saw this situation, he also activated his ability and gave Nami support. After seeing the thunderclouds gathered so quickly, although it was a bit strange, Nami didn't think much about it. After a large thundercloud formed in the sky, Nami also began to control, and then the thundercloud was also under Nami's control. Next, he moved in the direction of the agent, now, as long as the lightning can hit him. Nami thought. By the way, water. Nami suddenly thought, come on, pour the water on the ground and cover this area. Nami commanded. Nami, what do you want to do? Usopp asked. So it is. Reiju knew Nami's plan, and immediately returned to the boat. Chapter 507 Siege of Gorosei, 5 Elders, 6. Damn it. Don't ask too much, hurry up and get some water. Nami said, punching Usopp directly. Plus reversed tilde bug plus. Yes. Usopp and the others were also afraid of Nami like this and followed Reiju directly. Immediately, Reiju and the others were seen moving out of the bucket, and then a large amount of water directly covered the area, and also flowed to Luffy and their battlefield. She's really a smart little girl. Dragon, who was secretly aware of Nami's plan, couldn't help but exclaim. Well, this is water. What did they want to do? The agent also found the water under his feet, but he didn't care. After all, the water wouldn't have any effect on him at all, so he just ignored it and continued on the side. Attack Luffy while dodging. That's great, he didn't take the water to heart. Nami said with joy after seeing the agent's expression. After seeing that everything was ready, she also secretly said hello and let Sokka and Sanji come back. Is there a way? Nami, Sirkar asked. Of course, look at what Miss Ben does. Nami said proudly, and then began to prepare. After a while, Nami was also ready to attack, and then she saw that the agent stepped on the water again. Above, Nami's eyes also lit up. It's now thunder weather. Thunder. With Nami's shot, a huge thunder and lightning fell directly from the sky. What? Thunderbolt. The agent was also taken aback by such a scene, but he was relieved when he saw that Thunderbolt was not attacking him. However, his expression changed in an instant. Before he had time to react, the lightning hit the water surface on the ground, and then was directly transmitted to him. Ah! The agent called out directly, and the lightning was transmitted to him, which also paralyzed his body, and suddenly his body could not move. Good chance. Luffy's eyes also lit up. Although the lightning struck him, as a rubber man, Luffy was completely insulated, so the lightning had no effect on Luffy. After seeing the agent's appearance, Luffy also knew that this was the case. The best chance, Rubber Great Ape King Gun. Luffy's strongest move, was directly shot by him, and then hit the immobile agent, which was also Luffy's unique move to defeat Doflamingo. Luffy's strongest move, with endless momentum, broke the air, and then hit the agent, was struck by lightning, and the agent who couldn't move was also flickering with horror in his eyes. He could feel that if he was hit by this, if the move hits, he will definitely die, and in the face of death, he is also directly crazy. Move me, the agent roared, trying to make himself move. However, he was struck by the lightning and couldn't move at all. He could only watch Luffy's attack and call at him. And hit him. Boom! Luffy's attack directly hit the agent, and then the powerful force exploded directly. Crack! Kick! The agent's bones were broken by Luffy in large numbers, and the agent had no strength to resist, and was directly beaten. It flew out, collided with the Yuhi soil continent in the distance, and fell directly into it. Hoo! Luffy was also panting violently. At the same time, Luffy's fourth gear also returned to its original state, but the time had come, and Luffy also fell into a weak stage. At the same time, Luffy was still staring at the figure of the agent. After a while, the agent also fell from the stone wall and wanted to get up, but he couldn't do it at all. Although he was not dead under Luffy's blow, all the bones in his body were broken. But he couldn't stand up at all. Damn it, I would die in the hands of you people. I hate it. The agent was full of hatred. You or your life. Sokka came to the agent, and then the knife in his hand slashed without hesitation, and the agent died directly. The battle has come to this point, and only the scar is left. Gorosei, 5 elders are still alive, all the people he brought have died, and only he is still defending the siege of everyone. However, although his defense is the strongest in the world great, but in the face of the siege of so many people, the situation of the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders is also a bit bad. Damn it, I didn't expect their strength to be so strong. If it goes on like this, I am afraid that even with my defense, it will not last for long. Scar Gorosei, 5 elders looked ugly after watching the constantly shaking defense. Although his defense is very strong, even if Admiral wants to break it, his defense can directly block 5 Admiral's attacks for 3 consecutive days, but this is also the upper limit of his defense. But I didn't expect this. There were actually 6 admirals at this time, and now 3 quasi-admiral came to attack. It was Margaret, Kikyo, and Ivankov, so it exceeded his upper limit of defense, so now his situation is also in jeopardy. Strength, his defense has reached the limit, Sabo said loudly, and then the attack in his hand was a little stronger, and the others also launched more powerful attacks. Damn, where did they come from? So many masters, and Marine's people have not come yet. They must seek support, otherwise, I am afraid I will die here. Thinking of this, the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders also directly pulled out a phone and got through. When Dragon in the Dark saw this, his expression changed, but he knew that the other party was going to seek support. Therefore, Dragon showed his figure without any hesitation, and then struck out with an extremely powerful attack, function. Roar! A blast of wind from the Jinchuriki column struck directly at the defenses of the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders. When Scar Gorosei, 5 elders saw Dragon, his face changed, and at this moment, the phone got through. Come and save me. Scar Gorosei, 5 elders called for help. What happened? Asked the 3 Gorosei, 5 elders of the Holy Land. It's too late to say, come and save me. Scar Gorosei, 5 elders said anxiously. At this time, Dragon's powerful attack also hit his defensive wall, and then the defensive wall shook violently, and there was even a danger of breaking. Come now. The 3 Gorosei, 5 elders of the Holy Land replied immediately, then hung up the phone directly. I'll go once in person. Even if there is any danger, I can bring him back. Bearded Gorosei, 5 elders said. Well, please, said the remaining 2 Gorosei, 5 elders, and then the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders left the office directly, and rushed towards the upside-down mountain. Chapter 508. The Siege of Gorosei, 5 elders, 7. After the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders left the office, he charged towards the upside-down mountain at his fastest speed, extremely fast. Violet, who was sent to monitor the movements of the Gorosei, 5 elders at all times, was directly monitoring the movements of the Gorosei, 5 elders from 4,000 kilometers away through her fruit-staring ability, and when she saw the bearded Gorosei after the action of the 5 elders, Violet also called Dragon directly. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders dared to come to you, and they will be there in about 2 hours. I see. After Dragon received the call, the attack in his hand also increased a level, but he did not expect the opponent's speed to be so fast. 2 hours, enough. Dragon thought confidently. Scar Gorosei, 5 elders breathed a sigh of relief after knowing that someone had come to support him. He didn't believe that he couldn't support him for a few more hours. So Scar Gorosei, 5 elders also became more confident. Armed Aeolus roar. Dragon once again made a devastating move, hitting the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders. A sword flows the profound meaning and breaks the mountains and rivers. Kuina also directly cut out his own profound meaning, slashing the sky and cutting the earth with one sword, and headed towards the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders. Roar of Thor. Sonia directly transformed into a giant Thor, and a bolt of lightning energy shot at the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders. Yaki shock. Orochi, who was transformed by Gorud, also spit out a shock wave and attacked the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders. Fox flames. Cubit Ninetails. Fox was not to be outdone, and a large group of flames burned towards the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders. Armed Diamond Dragon clash. Sabo also issued his own ultimate move, attacking the Scar Gorosei, 5 elders with a diamond shining attack. Shock of armed bear. The bear also made his most powerful move, directly pressing the air and bursting out. Armed silver river wink. Massive shockwaves rushed towards the Skargarose, 5 elders under armament hockey, entanglement. Infinite dust storm. Margaret directly controlled the rust fruit, forming a huge dust storm that attacked the past. Lion's roar. Kikyo directly used the ability of the fluttering fruit to form a huge lion, then roared and rushed over. After seeing everyone's attack, Skargarose, 5 elders also had a heavy face. He also knew the power of these attacks, especially when they were united together. Even he couldn't take it lightly, armed basalt shield. Skargarose, 5 elders also pushed the power of their defensive walls to the limit. The attacks of the two sides collided directly, and the power exploded directly. The violent explosion was also generated on the basalt shield of Skargarose, 5 elders. In the worried expression of the elders, a slight click sounded, and a small crack appeared in the defensive wall of the Skargarose, 5 elders. Although it was not big, it also made the Skargarose, 5 elders look ugly. After the cracks appeared in the defensive wall, it also blocked the attack of everyone. However, the cracks in the defensive wall also made the Skargarose, 5 elders a little worried. Dragon's eyes lit up. Ha 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 ha, your defense has a crack, is this your limit? Dragon said happily, and the others were excited. As for the Skargarose, 5 elders, it was a face ugly because found by Dragon. If that's the case, then you will die for me. The wind god roars. Dragon saw this, and he also directly issued his own big move. A huge wind Jinchuriki column roared towards the Skargarose, 5 elders and attacked the past. Others seeing this, the people who were there also continued to play their own attacks, and then followed Dragon's attack, and they also attacked together. Damn! Although the ugly Skargarose, 5 elders was angry, he didn't give up. Seeing that he used all his strength, his whole face was suffocated by Yuhi, and he held up the defensive wall. Boom! Boom! The huge explosion sounded, and then the sound of crack continued, but more and more cracks appeared in the defensive wall, and Dragon's eyes lit up. I am working harder. With that said, Dragon's attack power increased again. With the strength of the dragon, the defensive wall of Skargarose, 5 elders also became more and more cracks. In Dragon's excited expressions, and in the eyes of Skargarose, 5 elders, the defensive wall finally arrived. Limit. There was another click sound, and then, the strongest defense of the Skargarose, 5 elders, and at the same time, the strongest defense in the world, finally, shattered. Boom. Rumble. The violent explosion sounded directly, then the endless onslaught rushed towards the Skargarose, 5 elders. When the defensive wall was smashed, Skargarose, 5 elders also spit out a mouthful of blood, and then saw the energy impact rushing towards him. Skargarose, 5 elders directly retreated, and then was submerged by the explosion and disappeared directly in place. Dragon and the others are also staring closely to prevent the Skargarose, 5 elders from taking the opportunity to escape. If he escapes now, it will not be worth the gain, so Sonia and the others with Admiral Strength are surrounded by outside the explosion range. On alert. After a few minutes, the explosion disappeared, and the Skargarose, 5 elders also appeared in front of everyone. Although he was a little embarrassed, there was no major problem, but his breath weakened a lot, and the Xuanwu shield was broken, which also caused him to suffer. After a lot of injuries, the Skargarose, 5 elders looked at the people who surrounded him, and his face was extremely ugly. He also knew that even if he wanted to escape, there was basically no possibility. Dragon and the others did not hesitate after seeing the appearance of Skargarose, 5 elders, and launched their own attacks directly, and then hit Skargarose, 5 elders without the slightest hesitation, and Skargarose, 5 elders also supported themselves again. Defense, but also dodged. However, the power of the defensive wall this time was very weak, and it was immediately broken. Skargarose, 5 elders saw this and quickly rushed in the direction of the Kyubi, Nine-Tails Fox, but they planned to break through. Only the Kyubi, Nine-Tails Fox is the weakest, and at the same time, this is the best direction to break through. After seeing the actions of Scargarose, 5 elders, everyone also knew what the other party was planning, and rushed towards Scargarose, 5 elders, not letting Scargarose, 5 elders take the opportunity to escape, but Scargarose, 5 elders looked hideous, ignoring the attack behind him. He charged directly towards the QB, 9-tails fox, Xuanwu clash. The Scargarose, 5 elders directly transformed into Xuanwu, and then rammed towards the QB, 9-tails fox. At the same time, the attack of the crowd has also arrived. Chapter 509. The Siege of Garose, 5 elders, end. QB, 9-tails, fire Jinchuriki column. QB, 9-tails fox looked at the Scargarose, 5 elders rushing towards him. Without the slightest fear, Jinchuriki column of flames rushed towards the Scargarose, 5 elders sprayed past. The flame Jinchuriki column directly hit Scargarose, 5 elders. At the same time, a large number of attacks hit him behind Scargarose, 5 elders, and Scargarose, 5 elders spit out a large mouthful of blood, and then continued fiercely. Bumped towards the QB, 9-tails fox. When QB, 9-tails, saw this, it also inspired her ferocity. QB, 9-tails, tailnet. The QB, 9-tails fox used its 9 tails directly, and then formed a web that shrouded it directly towards the Scargarose, 5 elders. Under the huge inertia, the Scargarose, 5 elders also directly entered the net, but the huge impact force also hit the QB, 9-tails fox and spit out a large mouthful of blood, but the QB, 9-tails fox directly spit out a mouthful of blood, but the QB, 9-tails fox still biting Kiba and insisting. At this time, other people also came here, and then hit the Scargarose, 5 elders with one move, which also relieved the pressure of the QB, 9-tails fox, but the Scargarose, 5 elders' escape plan was in vain. Then the crowd fought again, and the Scargarose, 5 elders fell straight to the bottom, not far from death. The battle continued, and the Scargarose, 5 elders, who had broken the defensive wall, did not have much resistance, but the formed defensive wall still gave him some resistance, but under the siege of so many admiral-level masters, and there are not many other possibilities. Another hour has passed since the battle, and it has been an hour since Violet's reminder, which means that there is only 1 hour left, but these times are enough, and Dragon hits the Scar directly with another move. Garose, 5 elders. Cough. Scargarose, 5 elders spit out a large mouthful of blood, and the injuries on his body are numerous. Up to now, Scargarose, 5 elders also knows that if there is no accident, he will not be able to support him when he arrived. This also made him very unwilling, but there was no way. Is it really going to die here? Damn it, I'm not reconciled. Scargarose, 5 elders said reluctantly. Even if you are angry, it's useless. Your future is only a dead end. Dragon shouted. The attack in his hand was not slow, and a large number of wind blades cut the path towards the Scargarose, 5 elders. Bastard! Scargarose, 5 elders shouted angrily, while fending off Dragon's attack. However, after fending off Dragon, there were other people's attacks that still hit Scargarose, 5 elders. Scargarose, 5 elders. He stumbled directly under his feet and almost fell to the ground. Good opportunity. Wind blade. Dragon directly seized this opportunity, and then a huge wind blade cut it directly, and when the Scargarose, 5 elders hadn't reacted, he directly cut off his arm, and at the same time there was a huge wound on his chest. Ah! Scargarose, 5 elders screamed directly. Years of comfortable life made him a little unbearable. Can't you even bear the pain? Then you'll die for me. Wind blade. Dragon instantly came to the Scargarose, 5 elders, and slashed down with a wind blade in his hand. Ah! Under the wind blade, the Scargarose, 5 elders let out a violent scream again. The sharp wind blade directly opened a huge hole in his chest, and even his heart was exposed. The Garose, 5 elders fell to their knees, but they had no strength to resist. Dragon walked up to the Garose, 5 elders. You who are already decayed, have you forgotten even the battle? It's really ironic. Dragon said, looking at the scarred Garose, 5 elders, who was kneeling on the ground. Hey, maybe you're right, it seems that we are also corrupted by power, and we have even forgotten that power is everything. Scar-Gorose, 5 elders sighed, but don't think that you will win. I'll be waiting for you in hell, said the Scar-Gorose, 5 elders, who also had a hideous look on his face. Looks like you don't have anything else to say, then I'll send you to hell. Dragon looked at the Scar-Gorose, 5 elders coldly, and then condensed a wind blade in his hand, waving it directly towards the Scar-Gorose, 5 the elders chopped off. This is dead, thought the Scar-Gorose, 5 elders, before being drowned in the darkness, head and body separated. Of the Scar-Gorose, 5 elders, Dragon also looked back at everyone. Get out of here now, their support will be here soon. Dragon said. Everyone immediately returned to their ship, and then returned directly to the first half of the Great Route, and then used the coding to leave here and rush towards their base. This operation also ended in absolute victory. Holy Land, Gorose, 5 elders office. The 2 remaining Gorose, 5 elders are sitting here. I don't know why, I suddenly have an ominous premonition. It feels like something bad is going to happen. Blonde Gorose, 5 elders said. No, you must know that we have sent a large number of people to these 2 places, and there is still Marine's power. Even if they are not the opponents of the pirates and the Revolutionary Army, they will go completely if they want to go. Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders said. I hope so, the blonde Gorose, 5 elders said, only with growing unease. Upside Down Mountain. About half an hour after Dragon and the others left, the bearded Gorose, 5 elders also came here, and then he also saw the headless body of the Scar-Gorose, 5 elders immediately. How could this be? How could this be? The long-bearded Gorose, 5 elders dared not imagine, and never thought that their old friend would die here. The bearded Gorose, 5 elders later discovered that the scarred Gorose, 5 elders were all dead here, while Marine's people were not at all, not a single one. What happened? Why Marine's people didn't come? Was it ambushed, or what? The long-bearded Gorose, 5 elders said puzzled, and then he also gathered up the scarred Gorose, 5 elders, corpse, and then went back to the world government. He felt that something big was about to happen. On the other side, after finishing the solution of the sword-wielding Gorose, 5 elders, they also headed to the Holy Land of the world government. Tianyu also took out the healing fruit and formed tears, and all the people drank the meat, and everyone's injuries were also quick recovering. Dragon's side, Kikyo and the others drove the crowd towards the Holy Land, while Dragon went to sit on Hades. The people on both sides began to head towards the base camp of the world government, where the Holy Land was located, for the final battle. In the New World, all the pirates followed the 9 snake pirates and rushed to the location of the world government. All the pirates were excited, because this was the holy place of the world government, something they could not imagine before. Place. Chapter 510 Attacking the World Government. Go to the world government and defeat them. Hancock ordered as One Piece, King of Pirates. Roar. All the pirates responded one after another, and thousands of pirate ships followed, heading towards the world government, all the way. At the same time, on Dragon's side, Pluto is sailing on the seabed by coding. After all, this is their secret weapon and cannot be directly exposed to the world government, while the people of the Revolutionary Army are sailing on the sea on warships. A large number of elites of the Revolutionary Army they set off together, and they set off in the same mighty way. Everyone was in high spirits, and their goal was right in front of their eyes. Fishman Island. Father, I want to go too. Sister Snake and the others need me, Shirahoshi said to King Neptune. Shirahoshi, are you serious? Neptune looked at Shirahoshi seriously. He never thought that Shirahoshi would have such a request. That's right, Father, Shirahoshi said firmly. If that's the case, then let me accompany Princess Shirahoshi. Jinbei said, besides, the victory of this war, our side's victory is great. 2 Gorose, 5 elders have died, plus Marshal Marine and the 3 admirals. Jinbei obviously knew a lot of news too. In this case, you will go on behalf of Fishman Island. Be careful, King Neptune reminded. Leave it to me, Jinbei assured. Then, even the Sun Pirates, together with Princess Shirahoshi, came to the outskirts of Fishman Island, O Sea Kings sleeping in the ancient times. In the name of my Sea King Poseidon, follow the ancient contract and come with me. Let's go. In the name of the Sea King. Shirahoshi called out the contract directly, not loudly, but it was transmitted to the distance, the deep sea. Princess Shirahoshi. Jinbei and the others looked at Princess Shirahoshi in shock. They never thought that Princess Shirahoshi would act like this, and they were all shocked on the spot. The super-large sea kings in the deep sea also heard Princess Shirahoshi's voice. This is the voice of the king. Has it finally arrived? The promised time. Let's go together. It's time for us to fulfill our promise. The super-large sea kings also all moved, and then rushed towards the location of Shirahoshi. Not long after, in Jinbei's shocked eyes, they saw a large number of super-large sea kings appearing in front of Princess Shirahoshi, and then carried them to the seat of the world government, and a large number of sea kings joined along the way. In the new world, the giant elephant of Zou, is it finally here? It's time for atonement. The elephant master also turned his body directly, and then rushed towards the Yuhi soil continent, the seat of the world government, and the speed also accelerated. This is Elephant Lord. Why did it suddenly change direction? And this direction seems to be the seat of the world government. Duke Inuarashi said. Could it be? The Elephant Lord wants us to join this war. The shopkeeper Nekomamushi also said with a serious face. It's been 1,000 years. The time for redemption has come. It's the appointed time. A sudden voice passed through the hearts of all the people above Zuowu. Is this the voice of the elephant? All the fur tribes said. Although it was the first time they heard such a voice, they couldn't help thinking that it was the voice of the elephant. Looks like the Lord intends to let us join this war. Duke Inuarashi said solemnly. Then join in. Are we still afraid of them? Nekomamushi shopkeeper dismissed. Okay. Our catskins are not afraid of anyone. Duke Inuarashi said seriously, and all the furs were ready to fight. Wanokuni, Uncle Kanamon, let's go with our people too. Why can't we just watch our benefactor fight alone like this? Said Momonosuke, who took the daimyo seat. Okay, Momonosuke-sama. Kanamon saw this, but he didn't refuse. With the strength of a samurai, he also rushed in the direction of the world government by boat. The forces of all sizes in the world are rushing in the direction of the world government. To participate in this war, the people of the Revolutionary Army have notified the whole world of a lot of information. 2 Gorosei, 5 elders have died, and there are only 3 Gorosei, 5 elders left. The major forces seem to see hope and hope to defeat the world government. The world government, the Gorosei, 5 elders office, and the remaining 2 Gorosei, 5 elders were also looking at the intelligence of the Revolutionary Army. How could this be? Are the 2 of them really dead? The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, one unbelievable face. I don't know, I'll know when he comes back. Birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders means bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. It won't be long before the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders arrive at the world government. What the hell happened? Are the 2 of them really dead? The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders asked eagerly. The 5th is indeed dead. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders also said sadly. How could this be? With his defensive power, how could this be possible? The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders also dared not imagine. How's the boss? The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders asked about the knife-wielding Gorosei, 5 elders. It's also dead. This is what the Revolutionary Army broke the news. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders also revealed the content of the Revolutionary Army and handed it to him. Hey, this time, it's really hard to do. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders also looked ugly. Ultimate. Sir Gorosei, 5 elders, it's not good. The Revolutionary Army and pirates are all coming to the Holy Land, as well as the Zofur tribe, the Wanokuni samurai, and even other large and small forces. The forces of dissatisfaction with the world government are coming here at the same time. The man in black reported. Damn it, are all the people here? The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders said with an ugly face. Where's Marine? Are they all dead? cried the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. Marine's people are completely out of contact. It seems that they are planning to wait and see. Do you think we are lost? Said the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, who is also completely out of touch with Marine's people. Damn Marine, it's all their fault. If it weren't for them, the eldest and 5th would not have been killed by those rebels. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders looked ugly. Marine can no longer be trusted, but now is not the time to deal with them. Wait until the Revolutionary Army has been dealt with, and then clean up Marine. Now is not the time to push them to the other side. Bearded Gorosei, 5 elders said. Gorosei, 5 elders, and they still think Marine is just planning to stay out of the way. They don't know that Tianyu, Kuzan, Sakumo, Fujitora have directly started to oppose them. If they know, I am afraid it will be another situation. Chapter 511 Assembly. Let's focus on those insurgents now, said the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. $bug reference mark. There's not much power we can use now, only the 100,000 guards of the Holy Land, said the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. It seems that we can only use our heritage, otherwise, we have no chance of winning at all. As long as we eliminate their main force, then the remaining people will be nothing at all. With our strength, we can completely solve them, said the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. Yes, as long as the opponent's admiral-level powerhouses are eliminated, then that's enough. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders agreed. I'm going to order everyone to be ready for battle. And let Tenryubito activate the foundation. Be ready to do it, ordered the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. Agree. That's it. All 3 agreed. All the forces in the Holy Land have begun to prepare, a large number of guards have begun to prepare for the defense line, and the 100,000 guards have prepared defenses one after another, always preparing for the arrival of war. Tenryubito also received a notification, and they also knew the seriousness of the situation. You guys also know how serious the situation is now. I won't say it, prepare to launch the background. Every family, in addition to the patriarch, also has a family heir. Get your seat, prepare to draw lots. Whoever wins will go. There is no escape, Elder Tenryubito said solemnly. That's a full 500 Tenryubito. If we do this a few times, our people will all die, said a Tenryubito family patriarch. If you don't do this, then everyone will die, and do you think that all these years of living above others will be in vain? This is the price, said another Tenryubito family patriarch. Okay, stop arguing, that's the decision. For the sake of our Tenryubito family, someone must be sacrificed. Let's sacrifice those remote families first. The number of people is not enough, and our people will continue to replenish. Elder Tenryubito decided. Okay, that's it. All the people agreed with the proposal. With the consent of the Tenryubito elders, among the 18 Tenryubito families, the remote families formed over the past 800 years were all arrested and detained in a secret place. I'm Tenryubito, how dare you do anything to us? Do you want to die? A Tenryubito who was arrested shouted, but it was useless. After arresting 500 Tenryubitos, the arrest was over, but it also made the remaining Tenryubitos panic, fearing that disaster would befall them. You must know that there are only 1,000 Tenryubitos in total. 500 is less than a few, and it takes 500 Tenryubito blood to activate the foundation once, which shows how difficult it is to activate the foundation. The Revolutionary Army and the pirates don't know about Tenryubito's actions. Even if they do, they will only say that a dog bites a dog. On the way to the world government, there is still 1 day left, and everyone is ready to welcome the arrival of this century war, and no one dares to take it lightly. Time passed quickly. In front of the Holy Land of the world government, the guards of the Holy Land were always waiting there. The 3 Gorosei, 5 elders were also standing there, and they also knew that the people of each other were coming. Except for the Gorosei, 5 elders, there are also 3 powerhouses with admiral-level strength, standing behind them. This is the only remaining power possessed by the Holy Land. Are you ready to activate the foundation? Asked the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. Well, Those people have already been thrown in. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders said without the slightest emotion, only to see the bottom of the Holy Land, a cave, full of blood, and here is a shocking weapon, even has been activated, ready to launch. That's good. Now wait for those people to come, said the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. Come on. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders said suddenly, and everyone stood up and looked forward. I saw that in the fog ahead, it was directly broken by ships and warships, and then I saw a large number of ships appear in front of everyone. The main ones are the ships of the Revolutionary Army, neat and scattered. The rest is the ship with the logo of the 9 Snake Pirates, the main ship of the 9 Snake Pirates. All the captains are here, and the 3 major branches of the 9 Snake Pirates Jinchuriki column, plus the Empress is also it appeared, and a large number of 9 snake flags were also standing on the bow, and the rest were the flags of each One Piece King of Pirates. Although it was a little messy, the number was the largest, and at the same time, they were also the main force. There was also a huge elephant in front of everyone. It was Zo who carried the fur tribe, the elephant owner. They also came here. Beside them was the army of Wanokuni. They are all elites, and Jinbei's son pirates are also there. The Pluto was stayed on the seabed by the Revolutionary Army. At the same time, the giant sea kings brought by Shirahoshi were also on the seabed and had not yet appeared. They all existed as the bottom of the press box and would not be used easily. Then Dragon, Tianyu and the Empress came to the forefront. Sonia and the others with admiral power came behind them and appeared in front of the 3 Gorosei, 5 elders. You guys, you actually joined the Revolutionary Army. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders looked at Tianyu, Kuzan, Fujitora, and Sakumo with a look of disbelief. Looks like Marine really needs to be cleaned. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders said solemnly. Looks like you've been premeditating for a long time. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders also said coldly. No way, your world government is too dark for me to see the existence of light, otherwise, who would start a revolution? Who would make so many people bleed? Tianyu looked at Gorosei, 5 elders said. Humph. Those untouchables die when they die, so what? Gorosei, 5 elders said dismissively. It is because of your attitude that our revolutionary army has grown. If you were really democratic, our actions would not have been responded to at all. These are all caused by your mistakes. Dragon said. Clever tongue. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders scoffed. Needless to say, at this point, there is only one battle left, and the winner is king. And we will be kings forever. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders believe. Humph. Evil is invincible. You who oppress the whole world, you can't win against us. Dragon looked at Gorosei, 5 elders confidently. I hope your strength is as powerful as your mouth. The 3 Gorosei, 5 elders said disdainfully while watching Dragon there. Chapter 512 The battle begins. When Dragon and the others appeared, all the media in the world were broadcasting this scene, and now, the whole world is watching this scene, because this is also a battle that determines the direction of the world. The Revolutionary Army wins. Then the new order it will come, and the world government will triumph, then everything will be the same. The whole world is watching this war, and the Marine headquarters is the same. Although all the vice admirals are here and can't leave, they are also watching this war. People belonging to the world government faction want to help. However, with Sengoku and the others in their positions, they cannot leave at all. As for the remaining 3 admirals, they have no intention of taking any action, and they also intend to just watch it quietly. I didn't expect that you guys planned like this. Don't worry, Marine is handed over to me. Akainu couldn't help remembering what Tianyu said to him. Akainu, I have important things to do. Marine will be handed over to you later. After Tianyu finished speaking, he left here directly. Akainu watched Tianyu's retreating back, but in the end he didn't say anything, but said firmly in his heart, Marine, leave it to me, don't worry. I hope you can succeed. The 4 of Sengoku hoped in their hearts as they watched the battle that was about to break out. At the scene, Tianyu and the others confronted Gorosei, 5 elders. At the same time, the scene was silent and silent. Then, Dragon raised his hand, all attack. Dragon shouted with all his strength. Roar! Everyone shouted, and then the Revolutionary Army, the Fur Tribe, the Fishman Tribe, the Samurai, and the pirates rushed towards the defense line of the world government, and the battle began. Defend all! The blonde Gorosei 5 elders shouted, and then the 100,000 Holy Land Guards also started to defend. Boom! Boom! A large number of artillery shells fired at each other, but the people on both sides completely ignored them. The Revolutionary Army rushed forward directly, collided with the Holy Land Guards directly, and then began to fight. At the moment of contact, the battle started, but the battle scene was extremely tragic. Neither side had any intention of letting go of the other side, but in a short period of time, a large number of people on both sides died. This is war. Brutal war. The 3 Gorosei 5 elders watched this scene coldly, without a trace of emotion, as if the dead were not theirs at all, and the Gorosei 5 elders also did not intend to directly use the background. The background is the existence of the killer. It will not be used unless it is absolutely necessary. Come on, 2. The blonde Gorosei 5 elders ordered the 3 men with admiral power behind them, but they saw that the others' masters were also dispatched. Yes, all 3 responded, and then rushed towards the opponent's admiral-level powerhouse. The 3 of them stopped Kuzan, Sakumo, and Kuina respectively. Among them, Kuzan and Sakumo had intelligence. So it's better to fight. However, after they blocked the next 3 men with admiral strength, the rest were unstoppable, especially Sonia, Groud, Hubie, Ninetails, Fox, Sabo, Bear, Rayleigh, Eagle Eye, Zoro, Shiryu of the Rain, and the 2 top cadres of the Revolutionary Army. These people are all people with admiral strength. Once they entered the camp of the world government, they directly tore a hole in the defense, and then killed the special killed. Damn it. No way. Send out the Tenryubito guards too, or else there will be no one to stop them and our people will be doomed soon. Said the blonde Gorosei 5 elders. Bearded Gorosei 5 elders pressed a black phone directly. Then I saw a group of people wearing white clothes also appearing on the battlefield, and then rushed towards Sonia and the others. There are also 3 admiral-level powerhouses, 3 quasi-admiral-level powerhouses, and 2 more 10 vice-admiral-level powerhouses, and more than 100 rear-admiral-level powerhouses. As soon as these people appeared, they met Sonia and the others. The remaining people were also 4 or 5 vice-admiral and 1 person. As for the rear-admiral level, they were blocked by the strong pirates and the Revolutionary Army cadres. Down. Well, at least stop them now. Birthmark Gorosei 5 elders said, nodding. This is also all our power except for the position of the background. If it weren't for the traitors within us, plus the power of the CP department and the army, we could completely crush them instead of blocking them now. Gorosei with blonde hair 5 elders said ruthlessly. Don't worry, they'll pay the price, especially Marine's traitors. The bearded Gorosei 5 elders also flashed coldly in their eyes. Looking at the forces sent by the world government, Dragon couldn't help but sigh. If it weren't for your help, if we went to war with the world government, plus CP, Marine, and Army, I'm afraid we would be completely crushed. Dragon exclaimed. This batch of power is already Tenryubito's guardian power. That is to say, they have no power except for the background. As long as we solve the people here, then we will win, and now the key is Gorosei 5 elders. Tianyu said. 3 Gorosei 5 elders, 1 for each of us. Hancock said. Hancock was very confident in his own strength, and the strength of Gorosei 5 elders was similar to them. As long as the Gorosei 5 elders are resolved, and the opponent's background, we will win. Dragon also said seriously, and then stared at the Gorosei 5 elders, ready to shoot at any time. Although the Holy Land Tenryubito guards had already taken action, it still could not restore the weak situation, so the world government side couldn't help but fall into the bottom. Gorosei 5 elders watched this scene with anxiety. It seems that we have to take action, or else if we do, I'm afraid we'll lose. The blonde Gorosei 5 elders was a little anxious. Something's wrong, said the bearded Gorosei 5 elders suddenly. What's wrong? Did you find anything? Asked the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. Have you seen it? These people have some injuries more or less. In my opinion, this is caused when they besiege the boss in the 5th, but these injuries should not be the only ones. The strength of the boss is also yours. You know, they can definitely be seriously injured or even killed, not just a few. Bearded Gorosei, 5 elders voiced his doubts. There are only 2 possibilities, either they have a special devil fruit, or they have absolutely powerful weapons that can take them out of the boss without much damage. Said the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. No matter what the possibility is, we can't be careless, and when necessary, we will do it directly. Said the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. Chapter 513 Tianyev's Gorosei, 5 elders. Birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders also said that the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders and bearded Gorosei, 5 elders agreed, and then they also said that they continued to watch the situation on the battlefield, and they were not in a hurry. At this time, the commander-in-chief of the world government, Kong, was also watching this scene of war. He also did not join this war. As a nominal commander, he actually had little power to control, and he also knew it. Tianyu's decision, therefore, because of his feelings for Marine, it would be better if the Revolutionary Army wins, and if it fails, he can save Marine once and avoid being completely purged by the Gorosei, 5 elders. After a while, the first line of defense of the people of the world government was also broken by the people of the Revolutionary Army, and then rushed towards the second line of defense. The world government organized a total of 5 lines of defense, but in such a short period of time. Here, the first line of defense had already been breached, which also made Gorosei, 5 elders look ugly. Go ahead. It's time for us to go out. Said the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. Yeah, let's do it then. Said the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. Then let's do it. The traitor is handed over to me. Said the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, and came to Tianyu in an instant. When the Gorosei, 5 elders moved, Hancock and Dragon also moved. Hancock confronted the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, Dragon confronted the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, and the 2 sides confronted instantly. Is my opponent you? Tianyu said, looking at the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. Humph. You traitor. I will kill you directly. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders looked at Tianyu with an ugly face. Obviously he was extremely cruel to Tianyu. If you can, then try it. Tianyu didn't care what the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders said. Are you my opponent, old man? Hancock looked proudly at the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. Humph. Don't be too embarrassed, little girl. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders looked at Hancock disdainfully. Although Hancock's strength was strong, he didn't take it to heart. In his opinion, how strong Hancock could be. You're the worst person in the world. Today is your day of death. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders said, looking at Dragon with undisguised murderous intent. Even if you defeat me, there will be more people in this world to rebel against you. Dragon didn't care what the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders said. Okay, then you'll die for me. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders saw this and shot directly. Following the start of the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, the 6 people on both sides also started at the same time. The 2 sides directly attacked each other, boom, boom. Tianyu and the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders instantly appeared in front of Tianyu, and then punched out. Tianyu also not to be outdone, his right hand was also wrapped around armament hockey, and then punched in the past. Boom. The fists of the 2 sides collided, and Tianyu felt a huge force. As if being hit by a cannon, Tianyu directly retreated several steps before releasing the force. Although he was not injured, Tianyu still looking at the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders in surprise. I didn't expect your power to be so powerful. Are you a devil fruit person? Tianyu looked at the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders and asked, otherwise, there would be no such powerful power. Know that even Whitebeard doesn't have such power. Yes, I am also a devil fruit power user. I eat the Paramesha double fruit, which can double my speed, strength and other things, so you can't be my opponent at all. If you surrender, I can still do it. I'll let you go, Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders said looking at Tianyu. Hee, it's impossible, and I haven't played it yet, how do you know I won't be your opponent? Tianyu laughed, not taking the Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders, abilities into consideration. Since you are so stubborn, don't blame me. The Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders saw Tianyu like this, and said angrily, 10 times shave. The Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders immediately came to Tianyu, Tenyu Shigan finger pistol cannon. A Shigan finger pistol hit Tianyu with great power in an instant. Double fruit and Momo fruit are also somewhat similar. However, double fruit can only act on oneself and cannot act on other objects. It can be said that as long as you are strong enough, after doubling, your strength will be even stronger. Powerful, this is also an absolutely powerful devil fruit. Watching the Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders hit him with a Shigan finger pistol, Tianyu also turned his right fist into wood, and then formed a huge fist to meet the great power Shigan finger pistol of the Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders. Boom! The two sides collided, and Shigan finger pistol of the Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders directly smashed Tianyu's wooden fist, but Tianyu's eyes narrowed. Just a simple stroke of Shigan finger pistol is so powerful. Power. Compared with Berndivaldo, his power is completely different. Tianyu sighed after avoiding the blow from the Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders. Don't run away, 20 times armed fist. The Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders directly faced Tianyu, and punched a fist in the form of Shigan finger pistol. When I hit Tianyu, not to mention that after 20 times of magnification, even Tianyu didn't dare to be careless. Hobby of wood expulsion. Tianyu used his strongest defense directly, and saw a huge wooden shield appear in front of Tianyu, and then saw the Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders, attack directly hit Tianyu's on defense. Boom! The powerful attack directly hit Tianyu's defensive wall. The defensive wall also made a creaking sound, and even had some tendency to break, but it was finally defended, but the defensive wall was broken. It's my time to attack. World of Trees Wall. Tianyu didn't use ordinary attacks when he saw this. Tianyu also knew that with the strength of the Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders, only powerful moves would be useful, so he directly used the big move. A large number of trees formed directly, and then formed a forest, covering the path directly towards the Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders. At the same time, a large number of trees were also beaten. At the same time, Tianyu was still hiding in the forest, always ready to shoot. Humph! 20 times the Renkyaku Tempest Kick. The Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders saw such an attack and were not afraid at all. After doubling the Renkyaku Tempest Kick slashes one after another, they directly hit the huge tree that was whipped. The huge tree and the huge Renkyaku Tempest Kick slash collided together. Although the Renkyaku Tempest Kick attack is powerful, the number of trees is extremely large, so they still blocked the attack of the Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders, and then continued to the Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders attacked the past. Chapter 514 Intense. When the Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders saw such a situation, their eyes froze. Is there a steady stream of numbers? If so, then let's see whose attack is stronger. The Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders saw Tianyu's attack directly. The focus of the move. Section _______. 20 times the Renkyaku Tempest Kick Storm. One after another huge slash, cut out by the Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders, directly formed a slashing storm, and then attacked the tree world. Boom! Boom! A large number of trees were continuously chopped, and at the same time, they continued to grow, breaking the Renkyaku Tempest Kick slashes, and the two sides were deadlocked. It also blocked the invasion of the tree world for a while. Isn't this attack enough? Then it's even more powerful. The Birthmark Gorose, 5 elders secretly said, 50 times the Renkyaku Tempest Kick. The Renkyaku Tempest Kick, which directly surpassed the power just now, slashed towards the tree world again. This time, a large piece of the tree world was directly cut off, and a large piece of open space was directly emptied. Well, it works. Then come again. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders also attacked again, and the huge Renkyaku Tempest Kick was kicked out by him at will. It seems that the world of trees wall is not enough. Is it worthy of Gorosei, 5 elders? Then, the world of trees wall. Tianyu directly manipulated the tree world to grow even more crazy, and then a large number of tree worlds were directed towards the birthmark Gorosei. The 5 elders swarmed, and at the same time, several flower buds opened in the dark, and the pollen was scattered. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders continued to attack the tree world. With the powerful shot of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, the tree world was directly swept across a large area, and it was about to be completely destroyed by the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. At this time, the body of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders suddenly softened and leaned forward. Not good. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders just realized that it was not good. Tianyu had already seized this opportunity and instantly appeared in the birthmark Gorosei behind the 5 elders. Wooden gun. Tianyu held a wooden gun in his hand, and then stabbed the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders directly. The heart that was originally aimed at, but under the reaction of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, his body moved, and then stabbed hit the right chest. When the wooden spear stabbed the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, it also felt a block. It was the armament hockey defense of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, but Tianyu's wooden spear was also wrapped around his armament hockey, so he stabbed directly. Go in. The pollen of the world of trees wall will not have a very powerful effect on people with the strength of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders at all, so in just a short moment, the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders recovered their bodies, and then directly holding the wooden spear that Tianyu stabbed, preventing the wooden spear from going further, but now the wooden spear has penetrated most of the way. Wooden fist. Tianyu saw this, and punched Gorosei, 5 elders directly. The Gorosei, 5 elders who didn't react were directly thrown into the air by Tianyu, then stabilized their body, stood up, looked at the injury on the chest, and directly interrupted the wooden gun, but did not pull it out. After all, it is still not a good time to deal with an injury. Nice strength, you can hurt me so easily, and your strength is not bad. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders looked at Tianyu and admired him, not caring about his injury at all. My strength, at least to get rid of you, is enough. Tianyu laughed. Wooden dragon. 3 wooden dragons appeared in front of Tianyu in a row, then roared towards the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. 20 times Shigen, finger pistol. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders attacked directly with Shigen, finger pistol, but they were directly shot by the wooden dragon. Even the 20 times Renkyaku Tempest Kick, it was completely useless. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders also became serious when they saw this. 20 times the Rokushiki, 6 styles 6 king's spear. A shock wave formed directly from the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders and hit the wooden dragon. Roar. The 3 wooden dragons roared, slapped the attack of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders at the same time, and then collided directly. The 3 wooden dragons still defeated the attack of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, and then came to the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders in front of him. He was directly surrounded. 3 dragon seals. The 3 wooden dragons directly manipulated by Tianyu wrapped around the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, and then wrote out a huge ball, wrapping the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders inside. The light of 50 times Rokushiki, 6 styles Moon Kiba. A more powerful attack than the 6 king's spear, punched out from the hand of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, then shattered the entwined seal of the wooden dragon, breaking it directly a big hole. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders ran straight out of it. However, outside, Tianyu was already waiting for him, armed wooden knife. A sharp wooden knife was held in Tianyu's hand, and under the entanglement of armament hockey, it directly slashed towards the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders who had just escaped. Damn! The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders only had time to cross his hands on his chest, and then saw Tianyu's wooden knife chop off. The originally hard wooden knife, under the entanglement of armament hockey, became more powerful, and cut directly on the birthmark on Gorosei, 5 elders, arm. Kacha. The wooden knife was chopped to pieces, and a huge wound appeared directly on the arm of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, but it was cut out by the wooden knife, and then the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders was kicked away by Tianyu. Now you can still say my strength, just not bad. Tianyu sneered. Humph. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders also looked extremely ugly, and now he has also discovered that Tianyu's strength is completely beyond his imagination, stronger than him, so he also felt that his face was beaten. Snap. 80 times the Rokushiki, 6 styles extreme thrust. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders didn't think much about it, and directly launched his own attack, the powerful Rokushiki, 6 styles, which was directly increased by him 60 times, and then hit Tianyu, this Rokushiki, 6 styles, with the boundless sharp breath, with the aura that nothing is indestructible, stabbed at Tianyu. Tianyu felt the power of this blow. He was also serious to ultimate, wooden man. Tianyu formed a huge wooden man directly in front of him, and then swung the wooden man's huge double fists to hit the birthmark. The attack of the Gorosei, 5 elders, while the wooden figure bends and acts as a shield against Tianyu. Boom! The attack of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders collided with the wooden man's double fists, and then there was no long stalemate. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, attack directly shattered the wooden man's huge double fists, and then moved towards the wooden man stabbed in the past. Another roar, the force of the thrust, directly tore the wooden man's surface defense, and then continued to stab inside. However, the deeper the resistance, the greater the resistance, and in the end, the attack of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders still stopped. Inside the wooden figurine's body, it did not break through the wooden figurine's defense, but it was only a short distance away. It can be seen that the blow of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders is very powerful. Of course, the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, who made this attack, also gasped, and it was not easy for him to make this attack. Chapter 515 Broken Arm. Only the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders knew for themselves that although the attack just now was not his strongest attack, it was 80% of his full strength. You must know that his full strength was only 100 times magnified, and it was already 80 times. Psi and Amp, Chi and Amp, Psi. The devil fruit itself has no attack power. Only the person who eats this devil fruit has a strong basic strength and can exert more powerful power. His limit is 100 times, but 100 times the attack, even if it is him, it is also not easy to use. Birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders did not expect Tianyu's strength to be so powerful that he could not easily solve it. It seems that it is impossible to solve him by strength. Birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders thought to himself, but his face was calm, but even though he thought so, the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders still planned to try it. After all, no one would know if he didn't try it. Wooden knife slash. Tianyu ignored what the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders was thinking, and after recovering the wooden figure, he formed a huge wooden knife in his hand, and then directly chopped down at the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. The locked birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders also did not evade, 50 times the iron wall. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders directly used the derivative technique of the iron block, and a defensive wall appeared directly in front of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. With the strengthening of armament hockey, and the 50-fold doubling, the defense is definitely super powerful. Boom! The wooden knife swung down directly slashed on the defensive wall of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, and then there was a roar. However, the defensive wall was not broken. Then the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders disappeared directly in place, but stepped on the shave, and instantly came to Tianyu on the shoulder of the wooden man. 50 times the Rokushiki, 6 styles break the mountain. A powerful, strong enough to cut off the mountain. The attack, fired by the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, was directed at Tianyu. Adamantine Forest Call. Tianyu also did not expect this attack from the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. He didn't have much time to deal with it. He could only hastily form a wooden Jinchuriki column, and then resisted the attack of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. However, Tianyu formed an attack in a hurry, but was directly crushed by the attack of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, and then continued to attack Tianyu. Tianyu also directly wanted his fastest speed, dodged the past, and manipulated the wooden man at the same time. slashing at the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders in the air with a wooden knife. Boom! Although Tianyu evaded in time, he was still affected by the attack, and wounds appeared on his body. Although it was not fatal, it looked a little serious. At the same time, the wooden man's shoulder was also directly smashed. And then an arm fell directly. However, the birthmarks of Gorosei, 5 elders in the air are also not very good. After all, they are not very flexible in the air. Although they avoided the past for the first time, they were still attacked. The birthmarks of Gorosei, 5 elders were also directly hit the ground. Smashed hard. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders stood up, but they didn't suffer any serious injuries, but the internal organs were trembling a little. After spitting out blood, there was no big problem. Tianyu was still on the top of the wooden man's head, and the injuries on his body were also slowing down. Slowly recovering, Tianyu looked at the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, and continued to manipulate the wooden man to wave the wooden knife in his hand, and then continued to slash at the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. Boom! The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders quickly avoided the wooden man's attack, and at the same time, a powerful attack was brewing in his hand, but the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders planned to destroy the wooden man with one move, otherwise, such a big body is too bad for him. 80 times Rokushiki, 6 styles shattering sky. After the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders escaped the wooden man's blow, he came to the wooden man's back in an instant, and then directly hit the attack that he had prepared. I saw a gigantic energy Jinchuriki column hit the wooden man directly. The huge size of the wooden man also means that the speed is not fast at all, so in the face of the attack of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, he was completely unable to react, and was directly overwhelmed by the attack of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. The huge energy Jinchuriki column directly enveloped the wooden man. The wooden man's repeated birthmarks forced the Gorosei, 5 elders to retreat, and then the defense was broken and slowly consumed. The wooden man also made a creaking sound, but he was a little overwhelmed. Tianyu saw this and knew that the wooden man humans couldn't defend against this attack, so they directly manipulated the wooden man to swing the last knife. Boom! After the wooden man swung his last knife, he was directly overwhelmed by the attack of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, and the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders did not expect the wooden man to have such a move, so he was directly attacked by the wooden man. The man was slashed with a knife. Even though the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders had been defended, they still flew out, and a huge wound appeared on the body. The whole person vomited blood, and Tianyu, who gave up the restoration of the wooden man, directly caught this opportunity, came to the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, and then the palm of the hand turned into a knife shape, and slashed directly towards the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. Damn! The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders roared, and at the same time formed a hasty attack to Tianyu, hoping to buy himself some time. However, Tianyu swerved directly, used his body to take the attack from the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, and then directly slashed his attack on the body of the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders. Ah! The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders screamed directly, but one of his arms was directly cut off by Tianyu, and then the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders also distanced themselves from Tianyu in an instant. Tianyu vomited a mouthful of blood, and there was no big problem. After all, it was a hasty attack, and it didn't have much power. After seeing the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders like this, Tianyu didn't waste any time, and turned towards the birthmark Gorosei, 5 again. The elders rushed over, and the two fought together again. Although an arm was broken, for the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders, his strength did not decrease much at all, only one arm was left, which was not very flexible, so the birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders also fought very fiercely with Tianyu. On the other side, where Hancock played against the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, the battle was also very intense. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders was a complete fighting technique powerhouse without eating devil fruits. His Rokushiki plus Haki was also very good. Strong, so it is also very fierce to fight with Hancock. Shave. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders instantly crossed the space and came to the sky above Hancock. Renkyaku, Tempest Kick. I saw an unimaginably huge slash kicked out by the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders with full power without dispersing, he slashed towards Hancock. Hancock's expression also became serious, but this simple move could show the opponent's strength, so Hancock also stood up. Chapter 516 Sweet vs. Rokushiki. The huge Renkyaku tempest kick of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders directly locked Hancock, making Hancock unavoidable. Of course, Hancock did not intend to dodge, but faced this attack directly. If it's Rokushiki, so will I. Hancock said softly, and then saw Hancock kick out. Renkyaku tempest kick. Hancock was also a huge Renkyaku tempest kick kicking the attack of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. Although Hancock's Renkyaku tempest kick is not as big as the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, there is not much difference. I saw that the Renkyaku tempest kick of the two sides collided and exploded directly, although the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders the attack of Hancock defeated Hancock's attack, but its power was greatly reduced. There was not much power anymore. Anyone with some strength could dodge it. Hancock also avoided it with a single move. Okay, I didn't expect your Rokushiki cultivation base to be so powerful. However, compared to me, you are still far behind. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders believed. No wonder he was so confident. After all, he completely relied on fighting technique has such strength, not relying on devil fruit ability. Humph. Wait until you beat me. Hancock looked at the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders with disdain. Petrified arrows. Elders. Kami-e. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders directly used Kami-e, one of the Rokushiki, and then the whole person was like a piece of paper. Avoiding the petrified arrows, even though the number of petrified arrows was very large and very dense, but with the cultivation base of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, he still avoided the past. Petrified arrows. Hancock fired another wave of petrified arrows, and a large number of arrows attacked the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders again. It's useless, your attack is completely useless. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders said to himself, and then used Kami-e to dodge quickly and nimbly, but at this moment, Hancock's body suddenly burst out with momentum. Conqueror Haki. With the outbreak of Hancock Conqueror Haki, a powerful and breathtaking aura came directly towards the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders who were dodging. Not good. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders felt bad the moment Hancock Conqueror Haki broke out, and sure enough, the moment Hancock Conqueror Haki enveloped him, his body still trembled a little, even though it was only for a moment. He recovered from the past, but this time just now, he still showed his flaws, and he was rubbed by the petrified arrow on the waist, and a piece of it was directly petrified. It's really a good trick. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders looked at Hancock with an ugly face. He didn't expect that he would suffer a big loss so quickly. At the same time, he was also very jealous of Hancock's devil fruit ability. He did the armament Haki defense, but he still couldn't defend against Hancock's petrification. You're too weak. Hancock looked at the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders disdainfully. You only have this chance. I won't give you a chance next time. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, face was frosty. He was caught off guard just now, and now that he is prepared, he will not be killed by Hancock. The Conqueror Haki was influenced by it. Shigen finger pistol Lan. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders pointed directly towards Hancock, only to see rays of light that cut through the space, and then pointed to Hancock. Petrified shield. I saw Hancock waved one hand, a Yugi-colored energy defense in front of him. It was the defensive shield formed by his devil fruit ability. Boom. Kacha. I saw Shigen finger pistol of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders attack Hancock's defense, and then I saw Shigen finger pistol's energy attacks all petrified, and then lost directly. Attack power. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders also stared, and he also saw the trouble of Hancock's ability. If he touches Hancock at will, he will be petrified. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders are also extremely jealous of Hancock's ability. Renkyaku tempest kick thunder. After thinking of this, the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders kicked a Renkyaku tempest kick slash directly at Hancock. The slash directly entangled the power of thunder and lightning, and shot towards Hancock at a high speed. Like lightning. Armed perfume femur. Seeing this, Hancock kicked it out. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, Renkyaku, tempest kick slashed, was kicked by Hancock, and then directly petrified away. Hancock was also in this charge under the strength, he stepped back directly. However, at this time, the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders instantly appeared behind Hancock, Rokushiki, 6 styles overlord. Shunbu. Hancock's expression also changed suddenly, but he still reacted, and when he stepped on it, he disappeared in place in an instant, and when the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders saw this, they also followed closely, and it was another Rokushiki. 6 styles hit Hancock. Damn it! Petrified arrow. Hancock saw this, and a condensed petrified arrow hit the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, attack. Boom! The two sides collided. Hancock stepped back directly, but she fell into the disadvantage. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders saw this, and they also pursued the victory and continued to pursue Hancock. Hancock also kicked the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, and the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders also had a lot of armament haki wrapped around their feet, and then resisted Hancock's attack, but haki was also petrified for most of it, and then both sides the melee combat started directly. Although the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders were the masters of Rokushiki, facing Hancock's unstoppable petrified power, the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders were also stretched and somewhat restrained. Under such circumstances, Hancock once again has the advantage. It can only be said that Hancock's petrification power is too powerful. She can petrify her body at will. If anyone accidentally touches Hancock, even her hair, only petrified, this is Hancock's strength. Boom! After the blow, the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders backed away. Although Hancock was not petrified, the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, complexion became ugly, but after the battle just now, his armament haki has been consumed by Hancock a lot. If it continues like this, I am afraid that his armament haki will be consumed sooner or later. In this way, he is no longer Hancock's opponent. If you don't come, then I'll come. The petrified arrows. Seeing this, Hancock also took the initiative to attack the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, and a large number of petrified arrows attacked the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, and Hancock was also tight then rushed over. When the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders saw this, they also looked serious. Renkyaku, tempest kick. A large number of slashes kicked out from the feet of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. Chapter 517 Downwind. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders kicked a lot of slashes, collided with Hancock's petrified arrow, and then cancelled each other out. At this time, Hancock was also close to the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. Square root. Perfume femur. Hancock kicked the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders with a thick petrified power on his feet. Renkyaku, tempest kick tiger. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders directly kicked a tiger-shaped slash, and then hit Hancock's attack, and at the same time he kept retreating, but the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders didn't want to get close to Hancock fight. Hancock's kick hit the attack of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. It also directly petrified the Renkyaku, tempest kick of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. Even with an energy attack, Hancock was able to petrify the opponent and smashed the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. After the attack, the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders who had been far away from Hancock were Shigen, finger pistol again, pointing to Hancock. Humph! Seeing this, Hancock exploded his Conqueror haki directly, and then the crushing haki directly slammed into the attack of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, and then deviated directly from the direction without attacking Hancock in the slightest. What a powerful Conqueror haki! The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, face was frosty, but he didn't expect the other party to be so powerful. It seems that he underestimated the 4 emperors, and if he could become the existence of the 4 emperors, how could he be weak, even if she was a female? What the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders were thinking, Hancock didn't know. After the Conqueror haki broke out, Hancock directly put away his Conqueror haki. If Conqueror haki was used all the time, it would consume too much, so Hancock was only used at critical times. Rankyaku Tempest Kick Blade Storm. Hancock also used the Rankyaku Tempest Kick, slashing like a blade one after another, forming a storm, and then attacking the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, while still winding inside with the power of petrification. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders also became serious in the face of Hancock's attack, and he also realized the power of this move, Rankyaku Tempest Kick Storm. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders also kicked to slash the storm, and then greeted each other. Meanwhile, the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders still felt unsafe. Rokushiki, 6 styles Extreme Impact. Another Rokushiki, 6 styles hit the storm. The two sides attacked and collided, causing an explosion, and then a large amount of smoke was raised, obscuring the sight of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. Seeing this, the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders directly launched their own observation haki to prevent Hancock's sneak attack. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Rankyaku Tempest Kick slashes mixed with petrified arrows, pierced through the smoke, and attacked the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. Kami-e. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders directly twisted their bodies, and then avoided Hancock's attack. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders who were already prepared also directly avoided Hancock's attack, and his observation haki also did not find Hancock's approach around. Suddenly, there was a cracking sound in the sky, and the expression of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders changed, and hurriedly stopped the use of Kami-e, but it was still a step too late, and they saw one after another of petrified arrows, rushing into the air towards the blonde Gorosei. The 5 elders attacked. Boom! The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders smashed the ground with one foot, then lifted a stone, wrapped around armament haki, defended above his head, and withstood Hancock's attack. Perfume Femur. Hancock landed directly from the sky, kicking the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, defense, and then kicking the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders in the head. Rokushiki, 6 styles Extreme Shock. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders also hit Hancock, who landed with a shock. When he was about to attack the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, Hancock's Conqueror haki suddenly broke out again, and the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders also slapped his hand, and then continued to attack Hancock. However, Hancock still grabbed a first move, only seeing that Hancock kicked the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders on the shoulder, and then the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, attack also bent directly, rubbing Hancock away. Eye of Medusa. Hancock seized the opportunity, and a strange light emanated directly from his eyes, sweeping towards the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. Dangerous. Extremely dangerous. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, heart flashed an alarm, and he also felt the danger of Hancock's attack. Without the slightest hesitation, Rokushiki, 6 styles finally stabbed. A powerful impact hit Hancock, and the whole body of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders also covered armament haki with iron blocks. Kacha. Kacha. Where Hancock's eyes passed, the attack of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders was directly petrified, then shattered, and then continued to attack the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. Kacha. Kacha. The armament haki defense of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders was also petrifying, and the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders also saw this and punched Hancock. He also knew that he had to do this, otherwise, his entire people are about to be petrified. Hancock's petrification attack speed is too fast. Boom! The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders also punched Hancock on the shoulder. Hancock also took a few steps back and vomited blood from his mouth, but the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders was also in a bad condition. The fist that attacked Hancock was directly petrified, and under the reaction force, it shattered directly. It can be said that his right arm was directly disabled. Watching the petrification continue to extend along his arm, the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders also stared fiercely, and then directly cut off his arm, only to see that the broken arm on the ground was directly petrified. However, Hancock's attack was not over yet. Although he was punched by the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders and was injured, Hancock did not miss this good opportunity. Sweet charm. The breath instantly enveloped the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. Although the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders felt bad for the first time, they still got hit. I saw that the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders were also in a trance for a second under this charm. Although it was only for a second, still Hancock seized the opportunity. Perfume femur. Hancock simply kicked the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders in the chest. Crack. Although the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders broke free after only a second, Hancock hit him in the chest, and the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, chest was directly petrified. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders' face was extremely ugly. Although his chest did not shatter directly, it was also petrified by Hancock's attack. It can be said that if his chest was petrified, then his strength has been greatly reduced. Blonde Gorosei, the 5 elders already had the heart to kill, and looked directly at Hancock with murderous eyes. Don't look at me like that, it's just that your strength is too weak. Hancock looked at the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders arrogantly and disdainfully, which also made the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders face even more ugly. Chapter 518 Fengfang vs. Bright. Hancock didn't miss this good opportunity and continued to attack the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. After the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders received such an injury, they no longer took the initiative to attack, but took defense, just constantly defending. For a strong man like the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders, although his strength has been greatly reduced, it is still a bit difficult to defeat him, especially to guard against the opponent's death counterattack. This is the most important. The counterattack of a strong man like the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders is enough to kill a strong man like Hancock. The two sides are also constantly fighting, but it is not as fierce as before. Another battlefield, the battlefield between Dragon and the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, where they fought more intensely. Both sides were Logia's ability, so the scene is also stronger. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders are also Logia's capable ones, and they are also the most powerful Logia, the Logia light fruit capable ones, who are capable of surpassing the dark fruits. As the Gorosei, 5 elders of the world government, the people with the highest power in the world, Gorosei, 5 elders are also fully capable of obtaining this legendary devil fruit. Storm. Dragon attacked the long-bearded Gorosei, 5 elders directly with a storm. Arrow of light. The long-bearded Gorosei, 5 elders shot an arrow of light directly into Dragon's storm, and then directly annihilated Dragon's storm. Bright fruit. Logia's top devil fruit. Dragon also looked ugly. Although for devil fruit users, there are only the strongest ones, not the strongest devil fruit, but some devil fruits are absolutely superior to of the other devil fruits. The bright fruit is the most powerful. The fruit of light surpasses the fruit of darkness. Although Dragon's wind and wind fruit is also top-notch, it is still a step behind the fruit of light. Although its strength is similar to that of the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, its fruit ability is worse than the other parties, so Dragon is also at a disadvantage. Laser of light. I saw the long-bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, hands one after another of laser beams attacking Dragon at the speed of light. Elementalization. Seeing this, Dragon directly elementalized, and Dragon instantly transformed into countless winds, scattered in all directions, and then avoided the attack of the long-bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. Light shines. Seeing this, the long-bearded Gorosei, 5 elders directly shone a large amount of light forward, and the power of light enveloped the space ahead with an aura of destruction. The power of light not only represented life, it also smells of destruction. Endless storm. Seeing this, Dragon directly resumed his martial transformation, then stretched out his hand. A large cloud of storms moved forward, and a large number of wind blades slammed toward the shrouded light. Boom, boom. The power of the wind and the power of light collided, and then annihilated each other directly, but the power of light still prevailed. When Dragon saw this, another huge storm bombarded the past, directly overwhelming the forces of light, attacked the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders saw this barrier of light. A defensive wall formed by the force of light blocked in front of him, and then resisted Dragon's attack. At this time, Dragon has turned into a wind, flew directly in the air, and came behind the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, wind blade slash. Dragon held a wind blade and slashed towards the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. Although the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, was surprised, he still reacted, lightsaber. A lightsaber was formed directly in his hand, and then he resisted Dragon's attack. Ping! Although the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, resisted Dragon's attack, Dragon instantly became elementalized, forming a wind blade, and then slashed at the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, at close range. The long-bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, directly radiated light, and then counteracted the Dragon's attack, but in the face of the ubiquitous wind blades, the long-bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, still had some attacks in vain, and one of the wind blades still slashed on the body of the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. A wound was directly cut, and some blood flowed out, but under the power of the Fruit of Light, he recovered in an instant. Dragon squinted his eyes and took a step back. Your devil fruit ability is the same as that of Blackbeard Diki's dark fruit, can't it be elementalized? Although Dragon questioned, he still affirmed. So what? The power of the Fruit of Light is enough to cover up this shortcoming. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, didn't care. So what if it couldn't be elementalized? The power of the Fruit of Light was not known to others. If that's the case, then I can defeat you, Dragon said solemnly. Then let's try it. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, also said indifferently, but he was unmoved and didn't care about Dragon's words. Windball. How a giant windball with a storm tucked inside it attacked the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. The arrow of light is annihilated. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, saw this, a huge arrow of light, directly attacking Dragon's windball. Boom! The attacks collided, and the storm erupted, charging at the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. Sword of Light. The long-bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, directly formed a lightsaber in their hands, and then the sword slashed the storm that was attacking him. At this time, Dragon also came to the long-bearded Gorosei, 5, in an instant. In front of the elders. Armed Dragon's claw. Dragon's hand formed a claw-like shape, and then struck the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, with a single blow. Ping! The sword of light of the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, slashed on Dragon's claws, and Dragon's claws also resisted the opponent's attack, making a metal collision sound. The two sides fought close to each other in an instant and attacked each other. The sword of light and the claw of the dragon collided with each other. The two of them also kept walking and fighting, but they were comparable. Although the ability of the Devil Fruit Dragon was better than the comparison, but the fighting technique is much stronger than the opponent, and soon has the upper hand. Boom! After the blow, the two sides backed away, and the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, looked at a claw mark on their body, but they were slowly recovering. Although they had armament Haki's entanglement, they were still recovering. It looks like I can't fight close to you. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, looked at Dragon and said indifferently, but he didn't care much. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, with the Fruit of Light, was full of his own strength. Confidence. Although he lost the opponent in melee combat, his most powerful thing is his Devil Fruit ability. Even if it's the Devil Fruit ability, I won't lose to you. Dragon remained calm. Although the opponent's Devil Fruit ability was stronger than his own strength was not overshadowed. Chapter 519 Powerful Light. Then keep fighting. The long-bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, immediately moved when they saw this, then appeared in front of Dragon at the speed of light, and slashed at Dragon with a sword in their hands. Elementalization. The moment the long-bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, moved, Dragon immediately became elementalized, directly transformed into a gust of wind, and then drifted into the air, avoiding the past. Wind blades. Dragon appeared instantly, and then a large number of wind blades slashed at the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, before disappearing again. The light shines. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, directly radiated light, and then counteracted Dragon's wind blade attack. Facing the disappearance of Dragon's disappearance, the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, was also a bit difficult to handle. You must know Logia the wind and wind fruit, but the most flexible fruit ability. In this area, the wind is everywhere, which means that the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, want to catch Dragon. It is also very troublesome. Dragon kept appearing, then chopped off the wind blade, and then continued to disappear. It continued like this. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, were a little irritable when they saw this. Damn! The glory of the light! The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, were angry now. The whole person directly condensed a radiance like the sun, and a sphere formed by light appeared above this area. At the moment when the ball of light appeared, Dragon felt a severe threat: wind blade storm. A large number of wind blades were sent out from Dragon's hands, and then formed a huge storm, and then went towards the bright sun in the sky. Suddenly, the bright sun shines brightly, and endless light flashes. Where the light shines, the wind blades are all melted away, and then disappear. Seeing this, Dragon's face is also ugly, but he doesn't care. Sea of storms. A large number of storms emerged from Dragon's hands again. However, this time the storm was so powerful that it directly formed a sea of storms, and then attacked the bright sun. Although the bright sun is constantly exuding power, the ocean formed by the storm is not to be outdone. The two sides attack each other and then cancel each other out. After a while, the stormy ocean has the advantage, gradually crushing the sun's rays and moving towards the light. The sun attacked the past. Boom! At the moment when the storm attacked the sphere of light, the power exploded, and the huge impact erupted directly. The surrounding space was directly annihilated and spread out to the surrounding area. See you with the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders and Dragon. At this, the complexion also changed greatly, and the two quickly retreated at the same time. Dragon instantly turned into a gust of wind, then disappeared in place, appeared in the distance, and avoided the past. As for the long-bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, they left the place directly at the speed of light, and then waved one hand. A light barrier appeared in front of him and resisted the aftermath. After the aftermath, Dragon appeared in front of the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders in an instant, and then a huge wind blade, with unrivaled power, slashed at the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. I was on guard for you. The arrow of light. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, directly struck the dragon with an arrow of light with a piercing force. Dragon ignored it completely, and continued to attack the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. Tear. The long-bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, attack also hit Dragon, leaving a wound directly on Dragon's body. Dragon grunted, but he ignored it and continued to slash at the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders with the wind blade in hand. The long-bearded Gorosei, 5 elders' eyes flashed, but armament hockey directly defended the whole body, and then grabbed Dragon with one hand. When Dragon saw this, he did not miss this good opportunity, and the power in his hand was a bit stronger. Then slashed at the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. Ping! Tear! Dragon's attack directly shattered the armament hockey defense of the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, and then slashed the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders with a huge wound. However, the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders didn't care at all. At this time, the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders also grabbed Dragon's arm. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders smiled, but Dragon felt bad. Bright seal. I saw that Dragon's devil fruit ability was directly sealed when the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders grabbed Dragon. My devil fruit ability. Dragon instantly showed a horrified expression. As a fruit that surpasses the dark fruit, the light fruit certainly has the ability to surpass the dark fruit. The dark fruit has the ability to seal the devil fruit. Of course, the light fruit also has, and the fruit can also seal the dark fruit, but the dark fruit cannot. Light annihilation arrow. A destructive arrow of light emanated from the hands of the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders before hitting Dragon's heart. Dragon also felt bad at the moment when the fruit ability disappeared. Although the fruit ability disappeared, his body did not feel powerless, so it was not sealed by sea stone. Dragon didn't think so much, except for the devil fruit ability. In addition, his fighting technique is also very powerful, so he moves instantly. Armed Dragon's claw. Dragon's right hand instantly formed a claw shape, and then, under armament hockey's entanglement, grabbed the arrow of annihilation of light attacked by the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. Boom! Dragon's dragon claw directly hit the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders and also attacked, and then directly sent out a violent explosion. The dragon was directly knocked out, and the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, was also in such a shock down, let go of the arm that was holding Dragon. At the moment the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders let go of Dragon, Dragon also felt that he could use the devil fruit ability, and directly elementalized and left the place. However, although the Dragon elementalized and left the place, the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, the attack hit Dragon directly, and it exploded on Dragon's body. Boom, boom, the power of the arrow of annihilation burst out, and Dragon was also directly in the explosion range. Dragon also defended the whole body with the most powerful armament Haki at the first time. After a few minutes, the aftermath finally dissipated, and Dragon also appeared in the distance. Although it was in the explosion, Dragon was in good condition, but there was a bloody wound on his right hand, but it was just hitting the long beard. Caused when Gorosei, 5 elders attack. Dragon appeared in the distance of the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders, looking at the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders with an ugly face. I didn't expect your ability to be able to seal the power of the devil fruit ability. Dragon said solemnly. Chapter 520th Ancient Weapon King. Humph. Of course, even the dark fruit has the ability to seal the devil fruit. As the light fruit that surpasses the dark fruit, of course there is. Bearded Gorosei, 5 elders proudly said. HMPH. As long as you don't touch me, you won't be able to seal my abilities, right? Dragon could see the limitations of the opponent's ability to seal. Also, now that I'm prepared, it's impossible for me to be blocked by you again. Got it? Who knows? The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders said indifferently. As long as you don't get caught. Wind blade. Dragon said, and saw the huge wind blade slash directly at the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. And Dragon's hand is no longer bleeding. It's useless. Arrows of light. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders said, shaking their heads. After the arrows of light shattered Dragon's wind blades, they continued to attack Dragon. Wind blade tornado. Dragon saw this, waved his hand, and a tornado formed by the wind blade attacked the arrow of light. After breaking the arrow of light, it was attacked by the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders again. A ray of light shone to defeat. Dragon, who dare not approach the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders easily, can only use his abilities against the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders from a distance, which also caused the battle between the two sides to last for a long time, and both of them knew, if it continues like this, if you want to decide the winner, then it is impossible to have a few days and nights, but the current situation is that there is simply not so much time for them to fight. When the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders and Dragon had just finished fighting, the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders heard the screams of the other two, only to see the birthmarks Gorosei, 5 elders and the arms of both the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders were cut off by Tianyu and Hancock, and the chest of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders was petrified, but the situation was not very good. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders also looked ugly when they saw this. They threw Dragon directly, appeared beside the two in an instant, and then took the two to another place. Are you okay? You too? Asked the bearded Gorosei, 5 elders. Help me with the petrification on my chest first, and try to lift it. Said the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. The long-bearded Gorosei, 5 elders directly appeared with a bright force on the chest of the blonde Gorosei, 5 elders. However, after a while, they found that there was no use at all. There is no way, the chest has all turned into stone. Instead of the surface turned to stone. The bearded Gorosei, 5 elders also looked ugly. Damn it. The blonde Gorosei, 5 elders also looked extremely ugly. I didn't expect them to be so powerful. The birthmark Gorosei, 5 elders also looked ugly, and he also underestimated the strength of Tianyu and Hancock. On the other side, Hancock, Tianyu, and Dragon also gathered together. How is it? Are you okay? Tianyu looked at the injury on Dragon's hand and asked. It's no big deal. It's just that his fruit of light is worthy of being the top devil fruit, and it's really powerful. Dragon sighed. We can beat them, maybe even kill them. Hancock said. I'm confident in that too. Dragon said. Dragon, get your people ready to activate Hades. And Hancock, Get Shirahoshi ready too. I have a hunch that they are going to activate Heavenly King. Tianyu suddenly said solemnly. Okay. Dragon and Hancock directly informed their subordinates and made preparations. Dragon and Hancock also knew that in such unfavorable circumstances, they had to use their background, otherwise, they would only have to lose. This is a possibility. On the battlefield, the combination of the Revolutionary Army and the pirates is also overwhelming, especially because of their large numbers. The world government is also losing ground, and now there are only 2 lines of defense left. From this point of view, the world government soon to fail. Is the world government going to fail? Everyone in the Marine headquarters looked at the videophone and thought to themselves. Under such circumstances, even the Gorosei 5 elders were at a disadvantage, and even died. The government loses. It's not just Marine who thinks this way. People all over the world who are watching this scene think so. If there is no accident, the defeat of the world government is inevitable, and some people even celebrate in advance, while those who didn't go. The countries supported by the world government are also a little fortunate. If they join this war, once they lose, their country will be finished. Holy Land, the 3 Gorosei 5 elders also looked at the battle here with ugly expressions, and they also saw that they were already at an absolute disadvantage. If you do anything, you will lose, said the birthmark Gorosei 5 elders. I think we can start it, said the blonde Gorosei 5 elders. I agree, we must not lose. The bearded Gorosei 5 elders agreed. Then get ready. The goal is to be within 10 kilometers of the front, just to include the 3 of them and nearly 80% of the rebel army. As long as they die, then we win. The blonde Gorosei 5 elders said. Agreed, said the birthmark Gorosei 5 elders. Then I'll say I'm ready. Bearded Gorosei 5 elders took a button out of his clothes and started target debugging, while the birthmark Gorosei 5 elders and blonde Gorosei 5 elders blocked the bearded Gorosei 5 elders, in case Tianyu their raid. After a minute or two, the bearded Gorosei 5 elders said, it's set. Just wait 2 minutes. When the bearded Gorosei 5 elders finished speaking, a giant machine located in the Yuhi soil continent began to operate, and with its operation, a strong unease appeared in the hearts of all the people on the battlefield. The people who were fighting were stopped, but they felt the fatal danger. What exactly is this unease? Hawkeye and the other swordsmen said. As swordsmen, they can also find out how powerful this uneasiness is. I have never encountered such a sense of crisis. It feels like there is no escape or resistance. Sakumo also said. Except for Hawkeye and Sakumo, the others were the same. Even the various fishes in the sea became uneasy, and they fled here quickly, wanting to take refuge, and the sea surged in an instant. Tianyu, Dragon, and Hancock also felt this oppressive atmosphere, and they became serious, but they knew that Gorosei 5 elders activated their heritage, ancient weapons, and heavenly kings.